make the type of shit that only winners can. Call me Mr. Long Schlong, itchy in the hand. Bitch, I been a man, moving like a businessman. Mobbing Dolo, probably canceling our dinner plan. Keep my lungs full of gas with some gold on my collar. Acting stingy with these Benjis, ho, I need every dollar. Got a Dutchie full of spice and a Spice Girl choosing. Got them mad at the guard cause they product ain't moving. I been heavy stepping on them like a triple chin, ho. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? Please come again, ho. Niggas steady playing games, but they never win, no. Scoring every time I touch down like the end zone. Told them I cannot apologize, I keep it bug 50. My beginning came from winning, you ain't gotta fuck with me. I'm the top tier shotter, this is not for the Elo. Putting coochie on my face and putting ops in my relo. Throwing hands at your public school, sound like me. Probably smash you with your cousin too, sound like me. Bending corners while I'm bending rules, sound like me. All that shit you talking, it ain't nothing new. Tell them put it in my hand with no lip service. Oh, I been a man, bitch, I been working. Put it in my hand with no lip service. Oh, I been a man, got my wrist working. Ayy, levitating only like a legend can. All my shit be slapping like 11 hands. Got them playing catch up, they in last place. Serving niggas dust, it's like a drag race. Dummy think he winning, make me Ellen Mayo. I'm with my yellow bone mommy, whip color mayo. And while you on your way to clocking, on my way to Keiko's. I know that all you do is hate, that's all you had to say though. I give not a single fuck how you feel to be real. They been bluffing, they don't know just how it feel to be real. Pulling weight for the squad, winning at the tug of war. He ain't put you on no game, shawty, what you fuck him for? Nothing less and nothing more than the illest nigga in it. Bending corners on my pivot, doing donuts, doing digits. Got my hoodie cushions in it, I'm a motherfucking legend. Used to pick her up at 7, had her back around 11. Throwing hands at your public school, sound like me. Probably smash you with your cousin too, sound like me. Bending corners while I'm bending rules, sound like me. All that shit you talking, it ain't nothing new. Tell them put it in my hand with no lip service. Oh, I been a man, bitch, I been working. Put it in my hand with no lip service. Oh, I been a man, got my wrist working.
Ay, ay. Look, I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look, Papa don't preach, teachers don't teach, niggas gon' reach, that's facts. I ain't worried about none of that shit, I'm making that cash stack. Bunch of O's like NASCAR, but it's really more like NASDAQ. Why they thinking that they hot shit when they really more like ass crack? Quarter on me like a referee, niggas hating what they'll never be. Small top with a big bottom, yeah, shorty shaped like a letter D. Let her have it, then I let her be. If you love it, gotta let it grow. Crazy cause you really never know. When I'm hurting, never let it show. I'm a two-tone, two-phone, two-chain, new thing, lame whipper. You a broke ass, low class, no cash, certified lame nigga. I been getting to it like I ought to. Couldn't pick, so I bought two. Understand why your chick came, I'm just trying to figure why she brought you. I'm really reppin' and I'm flexed up, and I ain't gotta tell him I'm next up. Sleep on a nigga, they rest up, but I'm up and I'm getting my checks up. Me and the fellas be high as propellers, ain't shit you could tell us, we great nigga. Looking at niggas like how do you figure, unless you could talk about 8 figures. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look how we litty, we turned of the city, we raising the bar height. I been finessing, just look at them stressing, yeah, they been on all night. Sipping this water with somebody's daughter, she take what I taught her and build on it. Came in this game on that shit today, ain't in a couple years later, we still on it. Niggas be hating on it, bitches be waiting on it like a new season. I bet an acre on it, I put some paper on it like I'm loose leafing. Buying them assets, build me a cash net I could fall in. Look at my last bet, ain't got a tiptoe, ho, I'm all in. Think on a level that can't fail, and I roll me a J with the hate mail. Been doing good on the merch sale, all this bread on me look like a bake sale. Tell a young nigga what's really good, I be really good on the jaw jack. Send an email about the bread, I'ma hit you back with the call back. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be.
How's everybody doing tonight? Come on in, guys. Come on in. Hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you come on in. We're going to do this roll call real quick, and then we're going to get this show on the road. How's everybody feeling tonight? We got a special guest in the building tonight. Before we get that, let's knock this roll call out. Shout out to L Cool J. I see Ken Hooten in the building. STL in the building. What up? Mike's in the building. Shout out to all the moderators. I see Nick. I see Pippi. I see SD Walk. Shout out to William Sweet. Jacksonville, Florida. I see Spoken. Michigan. Kelvin Birch, Texas. What else? We got Andrew Green representing Jersey in the building. Who else we got? Who else? Bag Life, I see you. Devontae Smalls representing Florida. Darren B in the building. Oh, we got somebody from Chicago in the building. You know what Chicago is. We got two people on the panel, both from Chicago. We got Chicago in the chat. How's everybody doing? Shout out to Edie, upstate New York. Taurine Dowds, Dallas. T-Sean Mason, Ohio. Bruce Rad, North Jersey in the building. All right, come on in. Come on in. Hit the like button. Let me know when you guys checking in. Got a special guest in the building representing the city of Win, like myself. Chicago in the building. Midwest Box Trucking. What's going on, man?
Man, what's happening? What's happening?
I should say, what down, Charlie? What down, Charlie? Chicago in the building.
Word.
Chilling. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Hanging in there.
That's good. So we just gonna get straight to it, man. We're gonna get straight to it. But before that, everybody make sure y'all go follow Midwest Box Trucking. Let me pull this channel up. Where's my share screen? Make sure y'all go follow Midwest Box Trucking. That's his channel. Make sure y'all tap in with Midwest Box Trucking. I also got it in the description, and it's also in the subject title. So y'all should just be able to click it, and it'll take you directly to his channel. All right, so let's get straight to it. Peak season 2023. This is where me and you had our run in. We formally introduced ourselves to each other through some back and forth.
Exactly.
Regarding peak season, which to me is healthy. You know what I'm saying? Actually, the reason why I do the peak season, that's really bait. So you came for it. So, and it was this peak season, it wasn't like last peak season. I ain't finna lie to you. There was some moments where I had a little sweat right there. I had a little sweat. Now
it looked real good starting out. Like and the way I judged it, you know, I actually was looking at the board, you know, and I have been seeing the rates. And I want to say late September, most of October outside of Prime Week. We all know we have a Prime Week in October. But outside of Prime Week into early November, I mean, the average rates was between 250 and I want to say 285 a mile on the Amazon side. And if you got a good rate, it might have been right at like $3. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at the board at the particular time when I made that video, I'm like, okay, they dropped a bunch of lows. And the lows was hitting at 340, 350, 360 a mile. I mean, coming out the gate. So when I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good look because what's going to hit the spot load board at the last minute was going to be even better, which we saw some of that. But I don't think a lot of the areas saw what, you know, a lot of individuals were expecting to see.
Okay, we're gonna get into it, but first I want to ask you, what led you to do that video? This video right here, box. Hold on, let me share it. Box truck business owners, mark your calendars. Peak season is officially here. Because this way you kind of threw the shots. Let me change your make it better. Hold on, let me find you a good one. I don't like to leave the screen on pause when people looking crazy.
And I normally don't watch my videos, so this kind of like new for me. Like once I make it and I create it, then I'm done with it.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what man? Because I knew I had did a peak season video, and then somebody sent me this. You know, it's always people sending you stuff. So when I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right. Well, you know, I threw it out for somebody to respond. And you was the person that responded, but I'm like, damn, why he so angry though? You know what I'm saying? So you responded.
Go ahead. No, I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't angry. Did I seem, like I said, I don't watch the videos afterwards. Did I seem angry?
I don't. You just seem. it was just serious. You know what I'm saying? So it was just serious. I'm like, damn, he really
Right.
serious. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, well, I know he's seen, how I did it last year. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting
Right.
nobody. I
And
wasn't
I see.
expecting nobody to
I did
contest it.
one last year too.
Mm-hmm.
I did one too, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't really that great of a video. It didn't do too. You know, I wasn't putting much into my content back then. I'll say
Okay.
that. But yeah, I did a peak season video last year as well, similar to what you did.
Okay. So why'd you respond to my video in this one? What led you to do it? Because you went kind of hard on me, man. You went kind of hard on me, man.
See, because okay, when you put your forecast out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's individuals that don't technically like me personally. Like I felt like it was going to be a peak in rates overall, which it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know some areas, you know, didn't see, like I said, the rates they were expecting to see, but
Mm-hmm.
man, it's rates that are it's areas currently still seeing rates in upwards of $4 a mile every night, and I could
Mm-hmm.
show them to you, which I don't care to. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, it's individuals that depend on these areas, to move their trucks. And if you do a little research, it's not hard. A lot of that stuff I did, if you notice, I posted in my community post as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Right.
So pretty much, I feel like it was opportunities there. It was just, were you willing to do what it took to get them? A lot of individuals, like I touched on, tend to restrict themselves to, a 50 to a 100 to a 200-mile radius. Me
Mm-hmm.
personally, if I know beforehand, which just like I told you, I was looking at the board, individuals got access to the same information that I got access to.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out and kind of see. And that's how I'm gauging. I'm seeing what's being dropped 2, 3, 4 weeks out and what's the base rates, the average base rate. So if I'm seeing 365 on average, then I'm knowing what I'm going to catch on the spot load board, which is normally what I work off of, is going to be $4 or more. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I do my forecast pertaining to Amazon Relay. I'm looking into the future at the average base rate that's dropping. And if it's 265 a mile, then that's okay. It's gonna be less than $3 a mile. And initially, I made a video kind of touching on that too. I was thinking that we wasn't gonna see rates no more than about 315 per
Mm-hmm.
mile. So I got happy. I prematurely got happy when I made that. Like, okay, 365, it's looking good. So I'm like, if they dropping now at 250, 220 per mile. When I
Mm-hmm.
was looking, into the next few weeks, which was probably like the middle of November.
Okay.
So, like I said, that's how I'm judging. And I may have, prematurely got a little excited, but I mean, like I said, the opportunities definitely were there. It was just, were you willing to do what you needed to do to get them? So
Mm-hmm. So you made that video, then I came back and I made a video, and I kind of said what you pretty much just said. I said, you may succeed, but I know when I. So first of all, let me say this: when I do those peak season forecasts, I do them with just middle mile in general in mind. I always forget to separate or say when I'm doing this. You know what? This is
the
for the
same
middle
here,
mile.
same here.
This ain't really nothing to do with Amazon. And then it's always the Amazon person that comes back at me, and then I'm like, damn. Well, I can't retrace now and be like, this is more for middle mile just in general. This wasn't really pertaining to Amazon because Amazon is really like its own network. But at that
Right.
point, I'm like, man, I can't backpedal it now. You know what I'm saying? Because when you made the video, I'm like, shit, I really wasn't thinking about Amazon. So I can't backpedal it now. So I got to
No,
thug
but
it
you
out.
see, but no, you said you was sweating for a second. It looked
Yeah.
good for a minute.
Well, when you came with the the 2 weekends, was it? I think they was 2 weekends back to back where you did the community post.
Right.
You know, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, damn, I gotta remember when I do these forecasts to say, you know what, this is for middle mile. I'm not talking about Amazon. So I'm like, damn, you
Right.
know what, I can't backpedal it. So I'm like, well,
But I
hopefully
mean, Amazon is middle mile. So
it
to me,
it
it's
it
all the same shit.
it is, but Amazon is like its own network because see, y'all running the stuff overnight relay to the post office. Y'all running the stuff to the
Right.
post office. So when I do the forecast, when I do my research and stuff, I'm looking at, damn, I'm froze. Hold on, I'm froze. Give me a
Yeah, I
second.
was noticing that.
Yeah, I'm froze. Give me a second. Hold on. It'll unfreeze. It'll unfreeze. But you can hear me though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can unfreeze. I'm looking at the middle mile in general. So like when I was looking at Kuhn and Nagel and everybody talking about the maritime, I'm looking at the ocean freight in the summertime, looking at the intermodal stuff. That's how I'm basing it. And that none of that research is based on Amazon's network. You see what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but I'm like, damn, I always forget to mention and kind of separate the two. And at that point, I'm like, well, shit, I can't backpedal it now. I gotta thug it out. So I'm like, well, I know the capacity is still high. Hold on, let me switch the screen and see if I can unfreeze this. Give me a second. Hold on. Man, I hope I don't have to reset this camera. Give me a second. Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulty. It's my camera. Hold on, y'all. Brief intermission. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. But stuff happens. It don't happen often, but it do happen. You can hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, my bad, y'all. We back. So what was I saying? I was talking about the what was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, I was looking at the ocean freight, I was looking at the intermodal freight, and that's how I usually base it. I'm basing it overall, but I always forget about Amazon until somebody responds, and it's always somebody with Amazon. And then this year, I'm like, damn. And then when you put up the God, there you go. And then when you put up your video, I'm like, well, then I know the capacity is still kind of high, so I'm
And
like,
you was
I don't
right. It
know.
did get quiet. I got busy. I was working. Like
Mm-hmm,
I'm like, damn, I'm lagging on my. But I was busy. So
mm-hmm,
yeah, and I noticed too. Like it wasn't a lot of content being created.
mm-hmm,
Within like a couple weeks.
mm-hmm.
You know, up and a lot of people didn't talk about Pete. But I mean, I posted rates consistently, a little more than a couple weeks too, which I stopped because I'm like, I don't want to just be redundant and just constantly keep doing the same thing every night.
Well,
So I
you
kind
know,
of stopped posting them. But I saw study volume and decent rates
well,
throughout at least a good 4 to 6 weeks.
you know why didn't nobody talk about Pete? You know why didn't nobody talk about Pete? A lot of people talked about it last year and put their foot in their mouth.
It now last year wasn't what 2020 2021 was. We all know that.
Exactly. But see, here's the thing. This is the point I'm trying to make. A lot of people that talked about peak season last year, were going off 2021 because that is what they were used to. Like they don't. A lot of those people didn't know what a traditional peak season looks like a pre-pandemic peak season, and a lot of people just didn't understand just economics. You know what I'm saying? There's no way, even if you don't understand economics, just common sense would say, government gives a lot of money, volume goes up, no more free money, it's gonna go down. Common sense would have just told you that. But a lot of
Right.
people were banking on it. We're banking on it. We're banking on it. This year, so last year was pretty much cut and dry. I don't understand why so many creators was putting out all this rubbing their hands together and licking their chops and you know, sending people off to get ready for a
I
peak
mean, it
season.
was
That
it
was
was it was it was plentiful in 2021. Like even in the Midwest, you had Beloit, Wisconsin. You had Kenosha, Wisconsin. You had ORD 9, ORD 5, MDW 7. I mean, man, it was plentiful. And I'm talking about we was able to see stuff going 250 miles, which back then was kind of like the max on the
mm,
radius.
mm,
We had stuff going for 1,200, 1,500
mm.
a route. So it's a big difference now. We struggling to see anything go over $1,000. I was kind of speaking on that as well. Even with the weather
Mm.
we been having, Amazon been stubborn with increasing the rates on stuff. They'll let it sit. I'm watching them. They'll change the times. It's due to leave at 1 a.m. as opposed to increasing it that little $150, which then is most likely gonna get taken. They'll move the time to 2 a.m.
Mm.
You know, and they might increase it $20, $30, and then they'll move it to 3 a.m. So I'm like, this a big difference. Back then, it was getting out of there within an hour of the time it was supposed to, no matter what they had to pay.
How much of
So
that? How much of that do you think has to do with their own fleet and DSP? Because now they're
a
not
lot of it,
100% dependent on contractors no more.
a lot of it. I see you gonna see probably 10 to 20 of their trucks in there at a lot of different times throughout the night. So it
Mm-hmm.
may be 50 to 100 trucks in there at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see 10, 15, 20 of those be DSP. So it's still the
Mm-hmm.
bulk or the majority independent contractors. But it's a lot more DSP and the Amazon Relay 26-foot box trucks. It's a lot more of them around. Last year we saw a lot of those sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was asking, what are they doing with them trucks? Which we knew what they was doing with the trucks. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
see what they were doing with them, but then they were getting ready, probably hiring employees and so forth. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, year by year, we see changes to relay in general.
Mm-hmm. So when you had that second weekend and rates were really good a few months ago, and then by that third weekend, I was looking for your community post and it wasn't nothing. So that's when I guess you talking about like that had to be like either Black Friday weekend or the weekend right after Black Friday. And then it was just quiet. Like I didn't hear like
Right.
nobody put out peak season information.
And see, I'm going to tell you, I felt like I was getting redundant. You know, I didn't want to get old with posting. I would have posted them every night. Because, see, I know how to find them. It's just
Mm-hmm.
a process to, how you look for loads. Like when you was kind of looking for 'em.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like people complain to me. Oh man, look at these rates. I'm not looking. Like
Mm-hmm.
when they first post lows, I don't even look at them. I don't pay them attention. They just there. Them rates
Mm-hmm.
don't even apply to me until stuff start approaching $3 or better. I don't even pay attention. So if I see 40 lows go on the board for $1, I'm not even on the board because I understand that they're taking hours to and I don't have that type of time to just be on the low board, stalking lows. So
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wait until particular times that I know when either they hit the board at a higher rate because it's 2, 3, 4 hours from pickup, or it's the middle of the night to where 2, 3, 4 a.m. while I'm just waiting for them to find stuff in the facility that been left behind by other drivers, stuff that
Mm-hmm.
they missed. That happen every night.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the lows they're going to pay for. It's
Mm-hmm.
just you got to know that, and they if you know what you're doing, they do them at the same time every night. It's
Right.
like the same people walk through the same facilities and they find, damn, who left this skier here going to Davenport Hour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, send this to whoever, and then they got to create a load, and then boom, it hit the board. That's not gonna hit the board for $1.95, $2.25 a mile because they understand we're trying to get this out of here now because they need to be at the post office by 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
for them to even be required to deliver it. If you pull up at 8, 10 a.m. with a skid, technically USPS don't have to deliver that night. So that's something else that you kind of got to take into consideration with them middle of the night 3, 4, 5. They gotta pay for
Mm-hmm.
those, and that's what I was noticing during peak. It's certain areas, and I mean people in the area they know what areas I'm talking about, but you could just get up at 2 a.m., which we run that night anyway. So you could get up at 2 a.m. and get on the board, start getting ready, warm your truck up, jump in your truck, start heading that way by 3. I guarantee you by 4 to 5 a.m. you're gonna have a load paying over $4 a mile. And I
Mm-hmm.
will stand on that for damn near every day of peak season. It wasn't a lot of areas, but it was particular areas. If you knew where to go, if I'm in a bad area, then I'm looking at other areas. So it's no way for 6 weeks you was looking at other areas and you couldn't say, damn, every night, I see 465 a mile going 130 miles. That's probably close to 500, $600 for
Mm-hmm.
different loads. And, so, but people just in certain areas complaining. So it's like at that point, what you going to do? Either you going to quit or you going to move around to another area where it's more profitable. And that
Mm-hmm.
was my point about, peak season in general. We already kind of knew we wasn't going to see what we saw in 2021 because it wasn't that type of money floating around. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
touched on that, anybody with common sense they knew.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I would have been preparing in that advance and expecting to have to move into a different area because it wasn't just one area. But I understand when I made my video, the peak season peekaboo or whatever that was, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the biggest video, but a lot of people commented on it, and
Mm-hmm.
it did seem more people felt like it wasn't what they expected. I just say that.
Yeah, because after you did yours, because I had messaged you like, I'm doing this to kind of wake up the box truck community. So remember I said,
Right,
this is healthy, you know what I'm saying? Because then
right,
I started getting people like, damn, because after that second post you did, like by that third week, you didn't do that by that fourth week, and people looking at their rates, because when you got excited, I think people got excited. And then I got a
yeah.
few people DM me like, damn, I think Midwest jumped the gun. He spoke too soon. And then somebody DM me and said, damn, Midwest jinxed it. He should have just waited to
Shut
the
up, huh?
end.
Shut up, huh?
Yeah, he said, man, he jinxed it.
and,
You know what
and
I'm
and
saying?
Amazon watching too. They like, yeah, yeah. You just never know how stuff works. Maybe I know I did get a little excited. I just say that.
You got, you
And
got, you got, you got. I think it was because when you did your video, that's why I'm like, man, he real serious in the video. Then I came back. You know what I'm saying? I came back. But I said in my video when I did that live stream, I said, just because you know how to get money, don't mean everybody know how to get it. So I'm like, I'm
and
speaking in
a few
the
people have,
totality.
yeah, a few people have said that, I got an individual that refers to me as a unicorn. He like,
Mm-hmm.
with your situation with Enterprise, that's unheard of. The way you run relay, it's
Mm-hmm.
unheard of. But I just made a video of an individual I ran into, and I've been watching him. I speak to him here and there, but I be watching him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of how that video came about, because I just was like, you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I could see how he was moving. I could see the places he was at the particular times, and over again. I'm like, no, he got this shit down to a science.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when told him, like, I've been peeping you. He like, hold on, but this where I be, getting it from. And I'm like, damn. It was kind of like, it was surreal, because I was like, I had been peeping how he was moving, and he told me, and I won't say he said it was all because of me, but he said that he was picking up different tactics that he was using from my videos, and that was just kind of crazy to me.
Mm, mm. So overall, then you wrapped up after peak season. After we did, no, it was that was one of your earlier videos this year. You asked people what they thought about peak season, and it seemed like the sentiment that was in the comment section. What did you title that video? Peak season of Peekaboo, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And it seemed like, I guess from the last time I checked the comments. It seemed like it was more Peekaboo than peak
right,
season. And that
right.
just kind of what I be telling people, like it's more strategic now. I think a lot of the people that watch box truck content that's coming into the space now, they're watching content from um, they're watching content from the pandemic. So they're watching old content, which really it plays no part in how you operate your business. Because now, like, the pandemic was fantasy land. It was fantasy land. You couldn't do nothing wrong during the pandemic. If you had a truck and you had your authority, anything you did, you was gonna make money. There was no way you could
Exactly.
fail. You know what I'm
That's the
saying? It
point I
was
was making by, talking about. I don't mean to cut you off, but
mhm,
how many different facilities? Because see, some of them facilities then since closed.
mhm,
You know, they don't even use them anymore. So
mhm,
that's what I'm saying. It was very plentiful, especially a facility that I spoke on, Beloit, Wisconsin. By that being where it was, if you positioned yourself in that area, which I used to do a lot, man, you could get 800 to 1500 a night. So you had people back. My best week ever with Amazon was 6500, and it was back during those times.
mhm,
And I had a homeboy. He in a semi now, and we used to compare. He'd hit me, what you make this week? 54. What you do? I'm at 52. How many trips you do? I did 12. How many you do? 13. So we
Mm-hmm.
had how many trips we needed to do in a week to make. You know what we made? We had it because we would compare. Like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, so we did about the same amount of trips. We made about the same amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, all of that changed as more people entered. The opportunities became less, and I mean it's just common sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's just how everything kind of turned out.
So it was more people you would say that didn't have so good of a peak season or a peak season that they would expect to have. You think the sentiment was more down than it was up?
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Mhm. What you this may be too
I mean,
early,
it
but
was quiet in the space. We haven't seen a whole lot as far as
but see that goes
anything.
back to what
So
I said last year. Last year I was kind of hard on a lot of people because they
right,
put their foot in it. So I don't think a lot of people wanted to because here's the thing, and I understand it. I always say once you say something, you can't backpedal it. So a lot of people didn't want to, make those. I think last year a lot of people was just not even making prediction. They was just going off what they knew from what they experienced. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm sitting down, I'm analyzing stuff. You see what I'm saying? So people that made those that said that stuff last year and was preparing people to get ready for peak season, they had to deal with that backlash. They had to deal with that backlash in their comment section. You had people investing money, going renting extra trucks, thinking that they was finna make glue globs of money. They were investing money into something, listening to content creators, and then when that time came around, it was a loss. Look how many content creators, look how many people was complaining about they was turning their truck in. All the content turning my truck in last December. It was more people
I,
failing
I heard
in
that this
December
year
than it
too.
was making money this year too. So I think a lot of people just stayed away from it because man, a lot of people caught a lot of lashes last year. I witnessed it. I'm looking in the comment section. So I think people just didn't want to make those predictions and just want to say anything. They just ran their truck and just kept it quiet. But you starting to see a
Say,
little
I,
bit more
say,
content being made now, but not much. I think the space is
say,
damn near dead.
I mean, it ain't dead. We ain't gonna let it die. But
Now
I
we ain't gonna
mean,
let it die, but it ain't no. I mean, you can count on two hands how many people creating content. You still gonna have fingers left. Am I lying?
it's been pretty scarce. I'll say that.
So what you think? I know this may be too far out to predict, but what do you think about 2024 peak season? Just based on what you know and what's coming up this year, as far as like an election, things of that nature. Because the election is in November. Then
Right,
so
man. I'm gonna just be 100% honest with you. I already kind of thought about it. I'm personally preparing myself to see a show similar to what we just saw,
hmm
where it's gonna be the nooks and crannies where you're gonna be able to, really get the bag. It ain't gonna be just outright like it was, say, each year is getting a little more slim. I think that you probably should look to see DSP a little stronger. Once again, like I said, they push the short and long term contracts. You always got to factor in poster truck.
hmm
So, I mean, it's a lot of different variables that you have to factor in when you talking about peak season 2024. So, me personally, I already kind of have mentally prepared to see either something similar or I hate to say it worse than what we saw this year.
now you speaking
I mean,
specifically in regards to just Amazon. You're not speaking in just the middle mile freight trucking.
I'm gonna
Period.
go out on a limb. I'm gonna say freight trucking period because it ain't just Amazon that's
hmm
suffering right now.
hmm
It's other lanes too. The semi drivers think the box truck drivers make more than them. I hear it.
I don't know why they think that, but
I
I don't know
mean,
why
they
they think
do.
that. You know why? You talking about semi drivers that are company drivers or owner operators? It's a difference.
Owner operators.
That's
When they
why.
hear kind of what we be getting, for a load, they don't like that.
That's why.
When
A
you
lot of
they
those.
don't I know guys in semis that think 350, $4, 450 a mile, that's a foreign language. Like that's not even real.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a guy come out of a semi and come work for me as an owner operator a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, he's back in the semi now, and he has some issues. It's some other factors on why he's back
But,
in the semi.
but see, that's the thing. And I was just because it's a creator that I watch on Instagram. He was in the semi, and I think he lost his semis, and he's back in the box truck. I think the box truck. If a semi guy come back to a box truck, it's because they gotta backpedal and kind of build back up so they can jump back into the semi. But for the most
Right,
part, the ones that I'm seeing that's in the semi is the owner operators that's struggling. All the guys that I know that's company drivers, it's like the roles reversed. Back in the day, the
right,
owner operators used to be the ones winning, and the company drivers would be the ones complaining about being slave. Now the company drivers are winning, and the owner operators are the ones that's complaining. All my guys that's company drivers here in Chicago, they winning. They winning, and local.
right. And I
So
mean, it makes sense because you don't have no overhead.
right. I
You
understand
essentially are an employee, so
and we in a big. I always gotta remind we in a big market, and we in like the capital of freight. You know what I'm saying? So we got all the rail yards and shit like that. So
right,
you can make uh you can make money here. But I'm kind of like I'm on the fence because it all depends on if Trump wins or not. I think if Trump wins, I think a lot of people that's been holding on to money will be willing to spend it. I think a lot of the um, people that are migrating into this country, you're gonna have more people in the population. By that time, a lot of those people have work permits, so that's going to generate uh, more money being spent. Now, I know a lot of them they're very frugal on their money, but it's still more people spending money, right? Um, I think where I agree with you at is you're gonna have to be more strategic. I think as time goes on, you're gonna have to continue to be more strategic. I know from my time in trucking during the 2010s, everything was cyclical for peak season. The holiday freight would come over via sea in the summertime, July, August, and then it would go on a truck, then it go intermodal, and then it start hitting where it needed to hit September, October. It don't happen like that no more. That big bulk of freight where people order it in the last prior year, Q1 of that same year, and it all's coming in via sea over the summer. It's not like that anymore. It's retailers ordering stuff for the holiday throughout the year. So they're ordering it sparse, in gibbles all throughout the year. That's why I was telling people like, yo, go behind your local Walmart, go behind your local Target. You see all those shipment containers? All that storage for freight that they've been ordering. So they're not waiting for that one big mass shipment to come in around back to school for the holiday season because they've been receiving all that peak season freight and just freight in general all throughout the year. It's changed, because September, October, November would be the busy season as far as peak for middle mile. Like middle mile normally would see their peak prior to the peak season beginning during back to school. So if I don't see people jumping for joy that's running middle mile freight end of August, beginning of September, October, then that's how I know it's really not going to be a peak season. And I judge it based off the amount of freight that's coming via sea in July, August. And supply chains just don't work like that no more. It don't work like that no more. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be similar to this year. I honestly don't think we're going to ever see, and I'm speaking pre-pandemic peak season. All right. I don't count 2020. I don't count 2021. I don't count it because it's make believe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even compare now to then. I compare
now
now to 2019 and prior.
Do you know what? Because I don't, and that's why I'm asking you. Do you know what Amazon and their rates look like prior to peak season? Did you ever? I mean,
I never
2021.
looked.
Did you ever?
I never looked into when I started looking to like Amazon and studying like relay and stuff. To be honest with you, is when I started doing. Amazon was not something that I ever cared about because I own a moving company and a final mile company, right? The only part of Amazon that I ever had any dealings with is when I applied years ago to be a DSP. So I know what that kind of looked like because I went through the onboarding process for that. But as far as the middle mile, I don't know what those rates were like. Not for Amazon, no. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't even be able to tell you. But
I
I'm
did
pretty.
hear that, as soon as the pandemic started, that the rate shot up. I have heard that from a numerous of individuals as far as Amazon. But yeah, I don't know what rates look like in 17, 18, 19 to even be able to compare what they look like in
I,
2021. But I do know that it was plentiful
yeah,
in 2021.
shit, everything shot up. Middle mile, just middle mile shit off the load board. Not for Amazon. It was too much volume. It was more volume than shippers could handle. That's why the floodgates
Right.
were open. That's why companies like Amazon, who, in comparison to like UPS and FedEx, Amazon should have been tightened up ship as far as like compliance and rules and stuff like that. The reason why they were lenient, because if they would have been tight, that would have been less people that they had to run all that freight they needed to move. You see what I'm saying? It was just an abundance of freight. But then that
But
leads us
see, I don't
to
know if they approached it from that mindset. I think that it had ran okay for a long time. And then
prior
with the
prior to the
influx of
pandemic.
exactly, and with
Right.
the influx of, because I don't think Amazon was just like, well, hey, we don't care who run our freight. I don't think that was ever their stance. I more feel like that the system they had worked, so
Mhm.
they dealt with it. And then, like you said, 2021, we had the influx of individuals that came in and started running relay,
Mhm.
and you had individuals prior that had been using practices that I'm just gonna say were underhand,
Mhm.
when they were running relay. But when you
Mhm.
get new people and then they talk to this guy, he say, well, hey, you can do this or you can do that, and then it hits YouTube and the internet, Instagram, and whatever.
Mhm.
So to me, that's where a lot of the stuff, kind of went left. And Amazon started to notice like it was a lot of stuff going on. I had people asking me to fix their performance score. It was a lot of that going on. I know a few content creators were offering, that service for a fee. Now,
Mhm.
what if you are one of the higher ups in Amazon and you looking at an individual on social media that's offering independent contractors a performance score fix? Like, what would you think about that?
If I was at higher up at Amazon,
And you saw that on YouTube that a particular individual was like,
I
hey, if you got a low performance score, pay me 100, 200, $300 and I'll fix it.
I turn their
Would
water
you
off.
just
I cut their waterfall.
exactly?
And you know what's funny? And I'm gonna keep it funky with you. Amazon executives watch. You know how I know? Because they watch me. You know how
I'm
I know they
sure they're
watch
in tune with what's going
me?
on
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah.
They're
They
talked
tap.
about too
Yeah,
much to not
yeah,
be
yeah. They're
in
in
tune. They
tune.
want to see what people have to say and are doing within their company when we don't think they're watching. Of course,
Yeah.
they might have individuals just specifically. I don't know this,
Mhm.
but that may specifically just sit and watch
You
YouTube
you
content.
you know how I know this Amazon watches me? And just any in general, because the way they do it is they'll subscribe to the channel. A lot of times you can't see who subscribes to your channel, but then they'll start following you on social media, right? I really don't post a lot on Instagram, but I'll put stuff in my story, right? And then occasionally I'll go see how many people watch the story, so it helps me get a kind of idea of, how many people I can expect for the show. So as I'm going down, just flipping through, because a lot of people that watch this, I don't, because it's a not a fan page, but like a personality or influencer page. I don't really know these people. I just know they subscribers or followers. But
Right.
then every now and then I'll see like a few people that don't fit the standard of what I'm seeing. It'd be like a Caucasian or a Pakistani or some shit like that. But they'll, when you click on their page, it'll be like their full name, professional page, and then I just go straight to LinkedIn. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Executive, whatever, Amazon for fit, and then I'm like, okay, so
Right.
that now it makes sense, and it just ain't Amazon. It's
Exactly.
with me being Final Mile, I get like a lot of Final Mile corporate people watch me and stuff, but yeah, they watch. So
Right.
yeah, if I was an Amazon exec, yeah, I would cut their water off. I would definitely cut
Right.
their
Well,
water
it,
off.
wa- it
So
was multiple individuals that were doing it. I knew how to fix my performance score. It wasn't rocket science, but it did take a little, dibbling and dabbling, messing with different stuff within the app. But yeah, you could have a bad performance score pertaining to on time.
mm,
Now, never acceptance, which is whether you know, accept or reject the load. That was never able to be adjusted. But as
mm,
far as on time, yeah, you could go in and fix that like nothing. As well as it was a time where if you were running late, you could easily just put yourself at the post office and so forth. Now, it's barriers to where you can do it, but you're gonna have to take different steps to do it.
mm,
And I'm sure when you do it, they're monitoring it and
mm,
probably looking into why you're doing it because there's cases where you don't have freight for a particular stop. So it is needed to
mm,
be able to skip a particular post office and go to another one, or say you're at a post office, scan off of that one and move forward. Because sometimes you may not have freight for that particular post office. But it was instances where individuals were abusing it for a multitude of different reasons.
mm,
Sometimes they were just running late. Sometimes they want to do shit in a different order than Amazon gave it, which they give you these routes in a particular order for a reason. Each post office opens at a certain time. They have different capacities and, different delivery needs. So it's a reason why you go into this post office first. But you got individuals that'll say, hey, this one closer to my crib. So I'm gonna switch this shit around and forget
mm,
what Amazon talking about. And they think they don't see it, but they do.
mm,
Now, whether they discipline you for it is something different. That's what we watch where things just constantly keep changing because they constantly keep watching you doing dumb shit. You see what I'm saying? And you thinking they don't see you, but they
I heard
keep
they got a
seeing you do this.
I heard they got a 3 strike rule now.
That's what I'm hearing too, and I haven't heard it from the person that I like to verify information through,
Mm-hmm.
which is my performance manager. I haven't heard him say it, but I have heard that it's like a 3 strike rule now where if you get yourself suspended due to performance 3 times, then you're pretty much terminated, banned from relay in general. Which is, yeah, in the past, they'd suspend you for a week or 30 days, whatever, and then you just had to kind of write a kind of apology explanation type of letter to say, well, this is happening because of this. I got drivers that, you know, whatever the reason may be.
And see,
And then
that's
they
what I'm
would let you back in.
see,
And
that's what I'm
now it's
trying to
like, no, three and done.
and see, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I mean, the weeding out process, the way they going about it, you know, they real, they really buckling down. So I'm like, man, are they doing it because So the way that they did DSP back in the day when they converted, everybody that just didn't switch over to the new to what you guys see now. Prior to DSP, now it used to be contractors in white vans. You can go rent you a white van,
Right.
or at the minimum, when I first applied, you had to have 5 vans. By the time they called me back, you had to have 20. So you could just go rent 20 white vans and go through the onboarding process and run. And then it kind of ran into the ground, sort of kind of how like Relay was going. And then when they redesigned the program now with purchasing their own vans, branding them, the DSP program, and making the DSPs lease the van, and they got fleet management, all that stuff. They did the same thing as far as that weed out process, and then whoever was left, they was just terminated. And okay, this is the new way. Anybody that didn't switch over because we didn't invite you, or you didn't have the resources, you didn't have the assets, you didn't have the 10 grand plus 30, $40,000 in assets, then we no longer need you. But I've seen this weeding out process before, but I just can't put my hand on if they gonna duplicate it the way they did DSP back like in 2016, 2017, or if they're gonna weed out as many people as they can and still have a board, but it's gonna be so minimal that, all the capacity that's left over is gonna end up having to find something to do anyway, because it's just not gonna be enough work to go around. I still can't figure that out if they gonna get rid of it just all the way or not. What you think?
I personally don't see them doing away with the load board completely, but I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say. I'm telling you, I try not to. I don't know how to put it. It's just like I don't really have expectations. They could do anything. It's kind of what I'm saying. You
Mm-hmm.
just kind of never know with Amazon. I do think that it'll always be a load board with whatever. We see that now. Like most of the loads that's posted are not the loads that we used to see. It's routes I used to run that's not available anymore. I know that DSP is running those. And we get a lot of the stuff in some of the areas people don't want to go, some of the rural routes that the DSP drivers may complain about. They walk into Amazon and they check in with a different attendant. They
Mm-hmm.
take them away from us. They huddle up like Amazon employees. They
Mm-hmm.
wear certain uniforms. It's like we're separate from them. And I was telling somebody else that, when they come in, they don't come where we come, and I don't see them checking in with they. It's like it's separated.
I was going to ask you
So
that because I was going to ask you, have you talked to any one of them to see what the sentiment is, to kind of like get some inside information on how, but they purposely, I see, keeping y'all separate for a reason.
you can talk to them when they load in their trucks, and I've talked to a
Okay.
couple of them. Yep,
Uh-huh.
and I think one of them, he said he make like 20 an hour or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, and he never know what he gonna do. His boss don't tell him. That's what he was telling me. That was kind of our conversation. His boss don't ever really tell him what's going on. He just show up and it's kind of like just thrown at him.
How
That's
many
what he
hours they
was
running?
telling me. I'm not 100% sure. I know that they're running like crazy routes with,
Mm-hmm.
Amazon now has routes that are shit 7, 8, 9 stops,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. That's crazy with the type of performance metrics they got. You
Mm-hmm.
leave out of there with 7 stops, and you got all 7 stops. You finna be late for one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you just, and I've run some of the 5 and 6 stops, and I've been running relay for a minute. I'm damn near proud of myself when I
Mm-hmm.
finish one of them without being late to one of them post offices, because so much stuff can happen over the
Mm-hmm.
course of the night. Sometimes you leave out of there, you got 2 hours and 15 minutes to get somewhere that take 2 hours and 15 minutes. So if you hiccup wrong, you late.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at that like I've left out like, damn, I don't barely got enough time to get to the post office. If I gotta stop and take a piss, it's like, hey, I'm late. So I mean, that's just kind of what you're dealing with right
Mm-hmm. So I I'm gonna put a poll up in the chat. I want to ask everybody how they peak season was, and then what I want to do also is I want to open up the lines for anybody that want to come up and chop it up with us for this next half of the show. But yeah, for the most part, I guess to sum it up, I guess we kind of was both right. It wasn't what I think a lot of people that are novice would expect a peak season to be, especially if you're new to
Right.
business and you've been watching content, especially if you've been watching box truck content from 2021, 2020. What
And
they
that's
were
what I
talking
was
about.
gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
It's a learning curve pertaining to your cost per mile, your rate per mile, deadhead, performance metrics. That's stuff you're not going to get in a month or two. And we know Amazon onboarded a bunch of carriers at the beginning of November. So
Mm-hmm.
that had a big effect on it as well, along with DSP, like I said, short and long term contracts, as well as poster truck. So I think it was just a bunch of stuff. And this is what, my take on it is Amazon knew exactly what they were doing. It was all set up to play out like this. With all of the new carriers coming in when they did, that was strategic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so I put the poll up in the chat, guys. And y'all voting too, man. Y'all ain't wasting no. Yeah, so the poll is up in the chat. So far, 80% says it was weak. 17% said it peaked. So y'all vote in the chat. Also, what I'm going to do now is I am going to drop the link, and I'll put that in the chat. I won't pin it because I got the poll up there. So anybody that want to come and chop it up, what time is it? It's a little after 8. We probably take 3 callers. We just wanted to chop it up because I know a lot of y'all saw our little engagement back and forth about peak season. Friendly engagement. It was good. I think the space needed healthy back and forth that's educational is always good because the back and forth was learning. It was a learning experience for everybody. It made people go do their own research, and that's ultimately what it's about. You know what I'm saying? You still got to do your own research, at the end of the day. And that's what makes a good businessman or good business woman. So, it takes strategy now, guys. The way things were during the pandemic, you ain't gonna never see that no more. It's gonna get more difficult. And to be honest with you, I can go into other things that I know, just trucking in general and just other industries, landscaping, the moving industry. A lot of these blue collar labor industries are going to get more difficult. The more people, the more competition, the tougher it gets. So, all right, I just dropped the link, y'all. Anybody that want to come up, I'll take 3 people. Y'all can come up and holler at us. The poll is up there. 79% said it was weak season, and 21% so far said it was peak season. Jabril said it wasn't peak. Let me see. Where everything relates back to my man. What up, Crumb? What up, Ryan C? What else you want to talk about while I got you here? As far as the space, what you got on your mind while we waiting for somebody to hit that link?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've heard you talk about this, and I just kind of want to get your take on it, kind of while we up here. What do you think about? And I think you've kind of touched on it, but what do you think about content creators and as far as individuals? Because you've talked about like people stealing content
Mm-hmm.
or repackaging content.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your take on that? Just in general.
I learned that's just a part of the game. Every week I get a multitude of people sending me links. Like every morning, so a lot of people that are in box trucking for the most part drive at night. So when I get up in the morning, I got links galore. You know what I'm saying? Links galore. So I just come to learn that it's part of the game, I guess. I'm seeing it more with my content now than ever before because I just think people are running out of ideas. And I can get how it can be difficult to come up with ideas, but I don't think a person should take a person's content. So if I'm talking about one thing and then you just go talk about it, I feel like, come on, you got to come up with your own talking points. But if you getting influence, so if I'm talking about, let's say, I'm just going to make up an example, Donald Trump. You know what? Let me talk about Joe Biden. I think that's because you got some type of, influence, but you're not directly taking the talking point. You just taking the idea, but you going in a different direction with it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but to blatantly just, okay, well, man, I can't think of nothing. All right, Mark talks about, migrants taking over trucking. I'm just making something up. And then here comes some migrant taking trucking. I recently had a guy that came up with all the hustles and different hustles. And then I seen the content creator come right back and put something with that I knew they got influenced by it. They didn't basically take, but I could tell they were influenced by it. So I see it, but it's just a part of the game, I guess. I ain't, I can't really trip. My mind is always working. I can come up with ideas quick and
Right.
easy. You know what I'm saying? It don't really like once I figure something out, it's game on. But and then I got it. Then it goes back, and I know I hate people hate when I say this shit, but the more experience you have, the more talking points you got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The more you are in tune with what's going on, you can kind of tie. I can tie the election into what's going on with trucking. I could talk about the Biden infrastructure bill. It's a part of the infrastructure bill called the PRO Act, which mirrors AB 5. It's a lot of things that I'm well versed on that I know about that I could talk about, but I don't because I know it's going to go over people's heads. You know what I'm saying? So the more experience you have, the well versed you are in something, man, talking points just come easy. But it is what it is. That's why I say it's kind of hard for people who may not have the experience to come up with content. I think as long as you getting influence off someone else's content, I don't really trip. But when you rip somebody completely off, if I'm talking about the sky being blue and then you talk about the sky being blue a day later, I talk about it's snowing outside, you talk about, so if everything I talk about, you follow right back behind it, then it's clearly you following me. You can't think of nothing. So you just running off my talking points. I don't think that's cool. But it is what it
Right.
is.
I
It
got
is
you.
what it
I got
is. So, what you think about it? Because I heard you mention that in the video that you did about a month ago. What you think about it?
you. I mean, I kind of agree. First off, I guess if a person is taking your content, then it's kind of like a compliment. It got to be like some type of form of flattery. And I've on at least two or three different occasions had my content taken, and
Mm-hmm.
I just ignore it. I mean, it ain't a
Yeah,
big deal. It
yeah,
is what it is. I mean, especially if we encounter the same genre or we run in the same lane. So
mm-hmm.
it kind of is what it is. I don't take it personal.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. I mean, people going. I just realized it's a part of the game. It sucks that you sit and you come up with the concepts and the talking points, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You just got to keep pushing, I guess. It's not that many people in this space anyway, so it's not really hard to tell when someone is taking your talking points. It don't happen a lot. It don't happen a lot. It ain't a lot, so it don't really bother me.
Right.
Let me see what we got here. That's the wrong one. Hold on. Video source, guess too. Yo,
Hello?
yeah, your camera was just on. What happened to it? Yo, yo. Man, he was up there for a minute. I guess he'll call back. Hold on. Let me see. Shoot, what else you want to talk about? What you get? What you
Um, I don't know. I mean, that was pretty much the gist of it. I would say so. Like you say you started, and then we kind of talked about that. You started in 2010, and
mm-hmm.
you kind of finished up what like a year ago.
October 2022.
Okay, okay. So now let's put a spin on it and say you were starting this month.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your business model as far as, a trucking company in 2024? Would you incorporate Amazon Relay? Would you still do moving and final mile? Like, what would be, you know, your business model now?
I think about that all the time. I have to because I'm creating content in today's time with people getting into the space now. So, and that's why I always say the way I was able to do things back then, I wouldn't be able to do now. So if I'm entering now, not as a person who's just blind who doesn't know the business. Let's say I was to re-enter, knowing everything that I know from my years of experience. Because I have the capital, I would enter with a cargo van. Now, if I didn't have the capital, then I would do it the same way I tell people to do it. I would start with what I have. I would go to veterans, right? Because you can run
Hmm.
out of your vehicle in veterans. You can go to T
Hmm.
Force. They got medical routes and they got e-commerce routes that you could use your car. And those are dedicated. And then after I finish that dedicated route for the day, then I would work the gig apps. I would do flex and whatever, right? Which was similar to how I started back in the day on Craigslist. There was no gig app, so I had to hustle off Craigslist back when I first got started. But if I starting with the capital, I would start with a cargo van. I wouldn't even do a box truck. I wouldn't do a box truck because I would start and I would I would use the same model that I did back then. I would want to scale. And I know it would be hard to scale now in a box truck. It would be easier to scale in a cargo van.
Right.
Because back then, you know, anybody out the joint, anybody that couldn't get no job, because remember, it was no gig economy. They could come work for me. But now everybody can do everything now. So now I got to look at a demographic that I didn't even pay attention to back then for the labor intensive work that my businesses entailed. So now I see the women are moving and shaking. You see what I'm saying? I see women trying to pull big boxes off of UPS trucks and FedEx trucks. I drove past the damn Chicago Police Training Academy the other day when they had them out there running. Out of about 70, 80 people running, about 2/3 of them was women, right? So I would start a cargo van business on the simple fact that when I got ready to scale, I would have to start something where I know I could hire women. You see what I'm saying? So I would start a cargo
But hey,
van
don't
business.
don't get it twisted though. It's a lot of women doing relay. They running the truck, loading the truck, delivering
But
to the. I've had women drivers. So I mean, and
so
some of them they tough. They don't. A lot of them when they know what they expect when they sign up for the job. But
so uh, so I'm looking at it from a master contractor perspective though. So a lot of people that do relay, they independent owner operators. Some of them
right,
have ambition of scaling up, but for the most part, it's just them and they one truck. I know me that when I get in, once I get in and I learn whatever it is and I master it, I know me, I'm not gonna want to set at that one van. I know I'm gonna want to scale. So it would be a van. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even think twice about a box truck because I
right.
know it's gonna be difficult for me to hire people and keep them, especially if I want to go into moving because I know that's where the money at. I know my market. I know my market. I know I've had Hispanics work for me before. They don't stay long. And now with this migrant situation that we having, that a lot of other parts of the country not dealing with outside of Philly, New York, you know what I'm saying? You here, so you see it. You see what I'm saying? I'm downtown. I see them walking all over the place. This is finna be the type of people that do this type of work. I don't speak the language. So I got to start something where I know I can hire someone who I know is going to be dependable that I could communicate with. I don't think I would be able to start a moving company today in my market and build it the way I was able to do it back then. I don't think I would be able to source the people.
No, I don't think so either. Because you
Same with
said you
Final Mile.
between two companies you was doing what? Almost a milli, right?
I was doing a mill.
Right, right.
I was doing a
So
mill.
yeah,
So
that's right now, if you maximize it with one truck, from what I see, you might make if I mean between $150 and $170, but you gotta be I'm talking about
you
you gotta be
you got
running the truck.
you got to be running. So
And
a lot.
almost doing more than relay. I've done it. No, it wasn't all with relay. So I probably hit like 140 with relay,
Mm,
139, 140. But then I had other stuff mixed in to get me, whatever I made after that. So, and that wasn't this year. This
mm.
year was kind of sketchy for me because of my truck situation and a lot of the issues I dealt with since I bought a truck.
Yeah, I was
So,
watching that last video you put up with you bought that truck from
right,
Penske or Ryder.
Penske. Yeah. And
Yeah, I
yeah, I'm
saw you went
still
through some
going.
trouble with it.
I'm going through. We already into it at today as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
We into it again because she's sending me stupid emails and yeah, it's been a fiasco and they've cost me probably 20 to 30.
Would you
So
be
I
interested?
automatically,
Would you be interested in them buying the truck back from you?
man, they could have the truck back for real.
Did you
If
did
they
you
gave me
see?
my money back, they could have their truck back because
Did,
yeah, it's just been. I don't even like the way they deal with you. Once they get your money, it's like they kind of look at you like you at their mercy. They reps are dis, on the borderline of disrespectful. You know what
mm-hmm,
I'm saying? And then they ask you for documentation. You send a documentation. It's 2-3 weeks before they give you a response that's unfavorable.
mm.
I don't want to wait 3 weeks for you to tell me that you can't help me with it. So yeah, it's a fiasco. So
Did you see the testimonial where one of the guys that was on one of my episodes of testimonial got Penske to
yeah,
buy his truck back?
his story sounds just like mine.
Was there
Yeah.
anything in his story? Because I don't remember it word for word, but was there anything in his story that he said that you might be able to apply to see if you can go down that same path?
See, but with my situation, it's been over 6 months. The truck has been in 5+ shops, and you know they're trying to say like just a look into what she's saying today that's pissing me off
Mm-hmm.
is pretty much now they don't want to pay for the lien because it's outside the 15 days. But
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned this to you in the first 15 days, and each shop that you sent the truck to has been ineffective.
It's
You
a
see what I'm
mechanic's
saying?
lien
So
on it. Who got a?
no, it's a lien as far as the truck doesn't sit level.
Oh, the lien. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
leans
yeah.
to the driver's side.
So did
So
you
I
ever get that
mentioned this
fixed?
in the no,
Mm,
and we just figured out by me taking it to my own personal shop what the
mm-hmm.
issue was. So I
Mm-hmm.
sent them the estimate for what my shop said that they would cover it for 3 weeks ago. I
Mm-hmm.
called back like 4 days ago. Hey, I sent y'all an email like 2 weeks ago. What's up? Oh, we haven't heard anything from our management team. Let me reach out to them again. Then 2 days later, we're not giving you nothing for the lien because it's outside the 15-day time frame from when you bought it. But I reported the lien within the first 15 days. So
Mm-hmm.
it's my fault that you sent it to 3 or 4 different shops that couldn't get it fixed. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I would never buy a truck from Penske again. I've been waiting to tell everybody that, but I'm gonna just say it tonight. I would never buy a truck from them again, ever.
Wow. Why you don't want to say it? Shit, they ain't sponsoring
Cause
your
I'm
channel.
I'm waiting
Shit.
because they first off they owe me money. And I've been just kind of trying to get all my stuff wrapped up because I don't know who's watching the channel. Them are pretty big videos. One of them videos already did over 10K.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who from Penske's watching what. So I've kind of been trying to watch what I'm saying until they give me my money. It's been over 6 months. Penske ain't gave me a dime back yet.
Mm-hmm.
A dime. So, you know, it is what it is.
What's going on, sir?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Chilling, chilling.
Not much, man. I want to tap back in. I seen nobody reaching out, man. So I'm gonna take the opportunity again. I
I
don't know
talk,
if you
I
remember.
talk, I talked to you before, right?
Yeah. I talked
Was
to you. Remember, you thought I was trying to
recently?
pimp the lady for. Yeah, you thought I was trying to pimp the lady about the box truck.
You from Fort Worth, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. You just for some reason, man, you just remind me of a pimp, man.
Damn.
You know,
Hey,
y'all,
man.
y'all,
Hey,
y'all pimping down there in Fort Worth, though.
nah, not at all. I'm a hard working man, for
Oh,
sure.
okay. All right, all right.
But hey man, man, my partner also, man, he had ordered three trucks from Penske, and man, they took 18 grand from him, man. They they he got the three trucks. They give him the trailers before they give him the trucks, and then charge him for the trailers.
Mm-hmm. Say that again. I was reading something. I'm sorry.
No, I was mentioning like Penske had got down one of my friends. He had did the leasing for the
Uh-huh.
18 wheelers, and they gave him the trailers before they gave him the trucks, and charged him for the trailers that he couldn't even pull, and then told him that he owed him that money.
Well, shit. Why did he? Let me not even comment on that shit. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
If I
yeah.
wasn't sitting there, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I just said that just to clarify that they do bad business. But I
Mm-hmm.
actually was calling in about the my box truck situation. I got an agreement. The agreement is, for every day I use it, it'll be 150.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, I wanted to, run it back by you. 'Cause I know you said moving company, but as you just mentioned, finding reliable people to, move furniture and, schedule these dates, man, is kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been thinking about going relay. So I heard brother man talking about it. I was curious. Do you run only Amazon relay?
For the most part. Yep, that's the bulk of it. I say 85, 90% of what I do. Yep.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. 'Cause I feel like I could supplement 15%. I just wanted something like you said. I just want. 'Cause I know I'm gonna be reliable. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna get the job done. So I was trying to find either that or the last mile option. And then I did have another question on the box trucks. There's they got a CNG tank on the side. Do y'all know anything about that, and maybe what the difference is between a diesel box truck and a gas box truck, and what's like the benefits or the pros and the cons?
Well, if you had gas right now, you ain't worried about freezing up. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of individuals they dealing with. But I don't know about like your fuel efficiency, and you probably not gonna get the same mile per gallon that you get with a diesel truck. But yeah, diesel fuel and you know the plastic like candle wax type of substance that's in it, that tend to freeze in the winter. So I don't know what. Well, you in
He,
Texas, so
he,
you
he
might
in
not really
Texas,
be
yeah.
dealing with that. Yeah,
Shit, you
Yeah,
going?
that's just
What
one
kind?
and
difference.
then
Go ahead, go ahead. You got it.
what is a CNG?
You
It's
hold on
like a tank.
before that. What kind of truck was it? What kind of truck is it? I forgot what type of truck it was.
They're Ford
Ford F seven
650,
fifty,
F650,
F 650.
X650.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
never dealt with a Ford truck. Only GMC and Chevy C 6700. I don't know about the Ford model.
yeah. But
What
and
what
then,
year
but
is it?
it's
What year is it?
2020. 2022.
She got a 2022 Ford F650, and it's a
Yes,
26
sir.
footer,
Yes, sir.
and it's just sitting.
Man, it's just sitting. It's not going to be sitting for long.
I'm saying she paying it got a lift gate or no?
Yep. Yep. Got a lift gate on both of them.
She still owe on it or no?
She just purchased it.
So she okay. So because I know we had this
She
conversation,
financed.
but I'm saying, what was the purpose of her financing? Why would she finance two trucks with no? Did she have a Was there? Did
Man,
she purchase them to do something with them or?
I mean, she know that I'm a hustler, so she know I'm gonna figure it out.
No. See, because this is why I can't answer your questions. Because I'm trying to find out why a lady would just purchase two fairly new box trucks with no plan.
Man, that's bro. I'm trying to tell you that I
I,
can't sleep at night almost thinking about it. I'm like, damn, we went from a 16-foot box truck to having two 26-foot box trucks with lift gates and with no plan.
that's why I'm trying to understand why she would. Is you telling me everything? Because here's the thing. You can, it's like I told you the other day, you can make all these plans to go run these trucks, but at the end of the day, they still her trucks. Anything could happen, and then what?
No, so like I told you, I had brought it to her attention. I want to say during the peak, like when like in 2021, I was like, hey, Miss Tina, I've been thinking about this venture, but she never kind of like she always questioned about it, but never took any steps to do it. So when the truck got totaled, our 16 footer, and she received the money, uh, a guy that we do business with, he sell cars. He had a deal for two box trucks, and she was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, I'm gonna get two of them." I was like, "Shit, all right." Because we could also have the opportunity. If we do business like today, we had two staging jobs. So she took one truck and did one. I took one truck.
All right. So, but here's the thing.
It's not.
This goes back to what I was saying the other day. She bought the trucks for her primary business, and she's open to suggestions on how to utilize those trucks to make money when her primary business doesn't have a use for them. Now, what if her primary business gets an infusion of clients and new work, and you've gone off and you've started this business that is growing, and then what? She gonna want her trucks. That's why I was telling you. I hear what you're saying, but those two trucks were purchased for that staging company. It's just she don't have maybe enough work right now at the moment to satisfy those two trucks. But that's not to say that she won't. So all I'm saying, you can do what you want, but keep in mind that at any given time, if her staging business picks up and she needs to utilize the trucks that she purchased for her primary business, she's going to pull those trucks. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to come at a point when you really, really doing good. And that's that monkey wrench that always happens. You see what I'm saying? So
No, I'm with you.
if
I'm
she
with
rent
you.
if she
And
rent new trucks, if she rent the trucks to you for 150, you can just go rent a truck from Penske or Enterprise for that.
oh, that's high.
You said what?
150 a day high.
150 a day, 125 is like 750 a week. Man, if I was going to use the truck from her, I wouldn't try to like really build a business around somebody else's equipment, because I'm telling you how that's going to go. You see what I'm saying? So if she's allowing you to utilize her trucks, I would just do spot jobs. I would do just gig stuff, just spot work. You can do what you want. If you want to build a business around somebody else's equipment, go ahead. But to me, just knowing how things go and how people are, God bless the child that's got his own.
Amen.
And she may be
No,
a good
you
lady. She may be a good lady, but you have to keep in mind that she purchased those trucks for her primary business.
no, I'm with you. But I've been with the company so long, like, I ain't gonna say I'm a partner, but I got a lot of sweat equity in this thing, man.
But that don't mean nothing. Sweat equity ain't shit. You know how many people that's done work for me for years, they got a lot of sweat equity, but they don't own shit. See, man, you getting caught up in the emotions and you working and feelings and thinking that she is had. Listen, at the end of the day, it's business. If her business starts picking up and the primary business, which is her staging company, has a use for those two trucks, those are her two trucks. So your sweat
But
equity, your 5-6
we
years don't
we
mean
we
nothing.
but I did mention to her that if hey, there might be times where the truck might not be available, we might have to go get a U-Haul. And she was like, okay, she's fine with that.
Okay. Hey, that's up to you, bro. Whatever. But I want you to flip yourself around though.
No,
Just flip.
I'm with you 100%.
You said flip. Just listen to what you just said and put yourself in her situation. She owned two trucks, and you're telling the person who owns the two trucks that her trucks may not be available. And if they ain't available, then you gonna go have to rent a U-Haul for your business. And you own two fairly new trucks that's sitting right here.
Yeah, because going in, I knew what the
I hear you.
objective was to give
I
them an
get you.
opportunity
I
was,
get you.
was to give them an opportunity to grow the business as far as doing loads and stuff.
I get you. I
But
get
I
you.
know I'm with you, and that's why off the muscle I told her, like and my guy I said, hey, we ain't gonna go OTR just because, like you said, like I don't want to be out somewhere and we gotta uh get a toll and it's $2,000. Now we wondering who gonna pay it. Like I'd rather keep it all like within in town. Like we do some moves. You know what I'm saying? Like I start relay next week. I go to my training and stuff Saturday, so I'll be
For
able to catch
Amazon?
loads. Huh?
To my Amazon relay?
Yeah, I do my training Saturday, so I should be able to catch loads next week. You said.
Well, then this the relay guy right here. You need to be asking him all the relay questions while you got him.
Oh, I was taking the notes when he was dropping the game
Oh.
about
Oh,
the
okay.
3 strike rule and everything about
Yeah,
being on time.
you might want to tap in with him. He got the coaching calls. Tap in with him with a coaching call so you can set you up for success.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, but just that relay is a 7. You running that. You running that overnight. So
Yep.
what
Yep.
how late you be running to sometimes? Midwest? No,
Man,
not
we
you.
don't.
Not you. Because if the lady needs the truck, what time would she need her truck at?
Uh, between 9 and 3.
Between 9 and 3. Some of those relay overnight jobs go into the morning time, right?
Yeah, should man, you could end up running till 10, 11 a.m. depending on the circumstances. If something go wrong or so forth, but you can pick trips where 9 times out of 10 you'll be done by 6, 7 a.m. You just got to do like one, two stoppers, meaning a total of like maybe 3 stops max. But if you get in them 4, 5, 6 stops, man, it could take you to 10, 11 a.m. to actually get back to where you started. A lot of people still traveling back to wherever they want to be at 9, 10 a.m.
Okay. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be truthful. Like I kind of control the business in a sense, so I could say,
You all,
hey, hey, I
hey, man. Hey, man. Let me ask you a question, man.
hello.
Let me ask you a question, man. Keep it funky with me. The lady, Miss Tina, she black or she white? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yo. We lost her. I was just finna get to the good part because I think I figured it out now. Oh no, here you go. I think I figured it out. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah. Miss Tina, is she black or is she white?
Now she white. She white.
She an older lady?
Yep. So I've been working for, like I tell you, I've been working for 6 years. She been dealing with a lot of life stuff. So she been absent probably 2 years, and I was running the company while she was gone. And then she'll come back, implement herself, and then just recently, she had ended up having a heart failure and was in the hospital for about 6 more months. I was running the company, so it's one of those things like like you said, you sound what you're saying are facts because you sound like you know her already. But at the end of the day, I do have that leverage to where she does trust me. Because
Mm.
she know that anything I do has to, is gonna
Let
come with making some money. She
me
know
ask
I
you
ain't
one more
finna be out
question.
here. What's
Is she
that?
a widow? Is she a widow?
Nope.
She's single though, right?
Nah. She got a
Yeah,
boyfriend.
word. Okay. Well, yeah, man. Whatever you think, man. Whatever is in your best interest. It
And
seems like. It
and
seems like.
and we
It
went
seems
and had
like
a
it's your
good time.
company. So
It almost is, man.
yeah. So do what you feel like you need to do for your business, then.
Man, y'all ain't gonna let me make it, man.
Oh
Man, I'm glad you
man.
make it. You saying it. You
Nah,
sweat
go
equity.
on, man. Go on.
Man, ain't going on, bro. We had this conversation the other day. Listen, you down in Texas. Every time I see you and talk to you, listen. I've been around a long time, bro. You got some pimp in you, bro. The first time you talk, I said, man, you sure you ain't pimp?
Nah, I ain't
Never?
got no pimp bone in my body.
Oh, okay. All right, man. Well, do what you feel like you need to do for your company, man. You signed up with Relay. Go and run you one truck in Relay, see how it work, and then once you learn it, you said your partner and y'all got another truck. How you put your partner in the other truck and go ahead and do what you gonna do?
Okay, cool. And then I did have one more question. So with that final mile, I had seen a lot of them. They do background checks. Are they felony friendly?
Oh, Amazon?
No, final mile.
Some companies not, depending on what your background is in. Because you got to remember, you going into people's homes. So
Yeah. That's why I asked you.
without me going into details, going into people's homes for periods of times, it's two things that most companies are going to disqualify you, depending on if those two things are on your background or not. So one we can say is theft for the most part, you know, and the other one is, oh, I don't want to say it for the YouTube algorithm, but
No, I'm with you.
Chester,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Chesters, Chesters. If you got any background as far as like any type of Chester in you, then because you could be going and delivering something. It could be a lady there by herself, her husband at work, and she got two guys coming in that, you know what I'm saying, and it could be a washer and dryer going down to a basement, and a Chester is a Chester. So
Already.
Chesters and any type of thievery. Now each company is different. Some will look at your background, and if whatever's in your background is aged, then they may let you come on in. But
Yeah, cause
usually
I
though,
I have fo- I have I have followed up with what's it called? It was your number one pick. What's it? T Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had contacted them, and then they asked me to pay for the background check. I was like, man, I ain't gonna pay for y'all to see my background.
Mm. Well, you gotta pay. You ain't gonna never get hired.
That's why I was.
What you?
That's why I asked you. You know, do the companies be felony
No, you
friendly?
gotta pay, man. You ain't. Do they be who? Felony friendly?
Yeah,
I mean, some are, some aren't. The ones that are, it depends on how old your, whatever's on your background is and what it is. I'm
got
telling you what I'm telling you what to do, bro. You don't listen. You ain't listening though.
you. You said do the moving.
You already moved. You've been moving for her. You stage. That's
Yeah.
moving. So you already have a moving background and you got 2 trucks. So listen,
No, I'm just trying to
eh,
keep it moving, Mark. I got I got
I'm
to move
I,
Saturday.
all right then. The most money you're gonna make with a box truck is moving.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
All
I'm
right,
just trying to
so
hit it all cylinders.
but you ain't gonna be able to hit it all cylinders. You can only do one thing at a time, and you on the new. You can't come in and do Amazon Relay, move, and share a truck for a staging company. Your ambition is cool, but like we gotta be realistic here.
Yeah.
So if you already have a skill set and something that you're already doing, and you have the asset right there to supplement or to satisfy the skill set,
Follow through.
you looking at everything else. You got the truck, you got the know-how, the skill set. And based on probably the business that y'all doing, you probably can tap into the client base. So why are you? I mean, you would do what you want to do, but like you got shit that a lot of people wish they had. You mean to tell me you work for the staging company, which means that you have a client base already. You got 2 trucks, and you already know how to move because you move for them. So if you move for them and you used to moving, that means you probably already got the equipment on
Sit
the.
down. I'm supposed to do everything. I have to go. What the fuck is your
Oh
problem?
man, yeah, it's time. You want us to call us
Uh,
back or something?
yeah, I'll
That
call
sound
you
like,
back.
yeah, that sound like a BM. got the, got the, he got the phone quick.
Oh man.
Wow. But see, that's hey man, that's what happened. Anybody else want to tap in, real quick? We got 71. It was weak. 29 cent. It was peak. Yeah, baby mama walked up, cussed him out. He got off real quick. Now he definitely ain't no pimp. He definitely ain't no pimp. So yeah, I believe him now. Ain't no pimp juice in them bones. Not the way she was talking to him. Not the way she was talking to him. Nah. Man, but what's going on,
So
man? What go ahead.
so what? 30%, 29% say that it was a peak, and you say what? 71 say nah.
71% said nah. 29% said it peaked.
Hmm.
So it just, goes back to what we talked about. So it is what it is. Well, the link is in the chat if anybody else want to come up. If not, then what you got planned for the rest of the year? What's your strategy for the rest of the year?
And I'm just trying to. I don't know. I'm gonna implement some different things as far as I don't know. Probably pick up something off of something that I talk about a lot too, like Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if individuals look on there a lot, but it's it's normally new opportunities every week. You kind of gotta you know just be on top of emailing, making the calls that you need to make, and so forth. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's why I don't understand why certain individuals have so much trouble finding work, or maybe they got a particular type of work that they want to do because yeah, I see opportunities on there all the time. A lot of it is like final mile. Some of it you won't even know it's final mile till you start doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's different stuff on there that you could do to kind of keep moving.
Hmm. What do you plan on scaling up? I don't really hear you talk about scaling up at all.
Nah, I'm actually, like I said, I'm trying to get out, you know, and
Man,
I'm
why
gonna
you
make.
trying to get out?
I mean, it's just it was a stepping stone for me.
Hmm.
I didn't never look at trucking as something. Okay, and we kind of talked about that. Well, no,
Hmm.
it was kind of off topic, but I never planned to initially ever. I mean, be a trucker
Mm.
in general. I used to look at trucking like, no, that ain't nothing I would ever want to do. But I consider myself too kind of like an opportunist. So if I
Really?
see, I, yeah, if I see opportunity in something, like you was doing what you do, the crypto live stream,
Yeah.
and I ain't never really been into crypto per se, but
Hmm.
I kind of checked that out and just picked up some pointers. I took some notes.
Hmm.
I'm always looking at different avenues to make money.
Mm.
You don't want to be one dimensional as far as, what making money from. Trucking is cool, but I've always looked at it as a stepping stone and, a way into this the thing. A lot of individuals got, and I was gonna touch on all of this in the video, but
Hmm.
individuals got companies where they make over $100,000 per year.
Yeah.
They have the money to clean up their credit and so forth.
Hmm.
Well, all you need to move into other avenues is what?
Hmm.
Capital and credit. That's it.
Hmm.
So a lot of individuals have been had the resources to move into other things to make money. Other things that would have been lucrative. But if you just stuck focused on running a truck, which it's easy to get stuck in that mindset, because there's so much that come with running a trucking company. A lot of people, like I said, they the driver, dispatcher, admin, and so forth. So a
Hmm.
lot of people get caught up in the running a trucking company and don't see, the resources that they have right at their fingertips. If you making, and be it might be total gross, but if you grossing over $100,000 a year, and like
Hmm.
I said, you got decent credit. It's a bunch of moves that you can make, and some. That's why I said that I'm gonna get into. I try not to talk about stuff prematurely.
Hmm.
I believe in energy and stuff like that. So some
What?
stuff I try to, you know,
What's your exit? When do you plan on exiting? Look at like a 1 year plan, a 3 year plan.
yeah, man. It's for me. It could, man, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, and I'm not saying exit, but
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe pivot. Go in a different direction as far as the trucking company. Maybe
Hmm.
scale back how much I'm actually running my truck.
Mm.
Possibly hire a driver, stuff like that. Look at it more of, and I wouldn't say passive, but me not so much being in the daily operations,
Hmm.
but freeing myself up to do other stuff. I got other stuff that I've done before trucking that I kind of put on the back burner. I used to sell a lot of cars back in the day.
Hmm.
I've had a time where me and another person in total we made like 16 grand
Hmm.
in one day selling cars. No lie.
You was going
I
out to
made
what,
nine.
Manheim or something like that? The auction.
A few. I ain't gonna say all my spots, but I used to I go because I'm planning on starting to do this again, and that's why I kind of
Hmm.
stay on myself because I'm like, you know, uh, it's just another avenue to make money. And
Hmm.
like I said, I got caught up in trucking for the last couple years, so I kind of fell back. I used to keep 4 to 6 cars on hand at any given time, and you
Hmm.
think that ain't money, but this stuff just sitting around, and I could drive them. So people like, damn, how many cars you got? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm selling these. Even when I worked the job, I used to drive so many cars to work that my
Mm-hmm.
coworkers would be like, damn, dude, how many? And I would tell them, like, I sell cars because I wouldn't want people to think I just got, 5, 10
Mm-hmm.
cars. So I would
Mm-hmm.
explain, like, I sell cars. So I drive them until I sell them. And that
You
was kind of a benefit to me.
you was leasing somebody's lot address or something.
Now, see, I was doing it all on the low, just buying and selling. And I got so cold to where when I bought so many, I would take other people to the auctions with me. I'm gonna put three in your name, and I pay you 150 a car. I put three in your name, pay you 150 a car. And so I come out of here with 6 to 9 cars in any given day, and only maybe two of them in my name.
So you had the dealer license, or you got the dealer license, or you was?
No, I didn't. I didn't
Cause
act
I
as a
know the
dealer.
play. I know the play because
Right.
I got homies that do it. I used to go
Yeah.
out to Manheim with them, and then it's another
Yeah.
one out there, right? I think it's in Cherville, right when you going down 30.
It's one in Harvey. It's a
Yeah,
few of them.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a few of them. So
But yeah, I used to go out there with him, but he didn't have a license. He was
yeah,
using
you just
somebody
buy
else's
them,
license.
and if you
Yeah.
buy them and you paying the tax up front when you buy
Mhm.
'em. See, a dealer pays the tax at the end of the year in
Mhm.
bulk. A personal party pays the tax up front at the desk. So I was
Mhm.
paying all my taxes. Everything was legal. But like I
Mhm.
say, I'm taking three people with me, and I put three cars in this person name, two cars in this person name, three. And the agreement is when the title come back, you sign and you give it to me, and I sell
Mm.
the car in your name. So
Mm.
yeah, I didn't have to deal with being a dealer at all. And yeah, I
Mm.
made a lot of money doing that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you
that was
was.
like a good side hustle.
Yeah, this was probably before the pandemic because I know my homie. He used
Oh
to get
yeah,
it like during tax time. That's when
yep.
he made his most money.
That's when I made it. Like I said, it was what happened. A dealer. It was one of them times when it was plentiful. A dealer sold every car off of his lot,
Mhm.
and he called me because I was having cars posted like on Craigslist. I also had them parked around town in different spots where you could get my number off of them.
Mhm.
And he hit me and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking at a couple of your cars. I think I had a Lexus, I had a Monte Carlo, and I had a Trailblazer on like 22s." And
Mhm.
he like, "I want to buy all three of them." And I'm like, "Give me three apiece." I was like, I want 45 for the Trailblazer. I want this, but hey, we could cut a deal. Give me 333. You can have all three of them right now. And I'm like, matter
Mhm.
of fact, I know somebody else that got two of them for
Mhm.
you right now. And yeah, she sold them two for what, like six. She got three for each of one of them. So yeah, we walked away with like 15, 16
He must
in
have had a
one
lot up
night.
on. He must have had a lot up off of Western or something.
I believe so, yep. And cause he like, I want everything. He like, I literally, and he was, once again, he was like prematurely happy because he like, I just saw. I think he
Mm.
sat with them cars for a month or more. Cause
Mm.
right after that, it like died down. So he
Mhm.
was kind of pissed afterwards because in the end, we actually came up. He sold them eventually, but not
Mhm.
like he had sold that first big batch.
Mm.
So I mean, it just kind of, it is like that first wave be crazy, and then you just never know what's gonna happen after that.
Wow.
So he might have
Yeah,
took a
man.
loss on them cars.
Wow. I didn't think I would hear you say you was getting out no time soon. It seemed like you looking for the next opportunity, but man, that make the second person that's a content creator say they looking to get out within the next year or two.
And yeah, just switch it up, man. I'm looking at, like I got some people around me that's in real estate. I'm just, and like I said, all of this I've been kind of keeping on the hush,
Mm.
But I got some homies that you know are savvy in the real estate game. They deep in it.
Mhm.
They go. He not only is the real estate agent, but he's a contractor as well.
Mm-hmm.
and he goes in, he'll gut a whole spot. He got a special he running right now. He gutting and doing whole cribs for 25K flat
Mm-hmm.
because he knows how to, get the materials and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how quick he doing them. I ain't gonna vouch for that, but they are gutting and redoing foreclosures and so forth for the low. So I'm thinking in a manner where I could get like 500K liquid in a year or so. That's kind of where my mind at right now. And the formula I got is I'm
Don't
right
tell
now
your
trying to
formula.
work.
Don't tell your
See,
formula. All
that's
right.
see, that's what I'm saying. That's kind
Mm-mm.
of so right.
No, don't
But
tell your formula.
I'm trying to be able to, run up like 500K in a year and do that 3 or 4 times and then be good, you know, to where I could fall back and kind of like, you know, by 44, 45, just be on vacation somewhere cooling and my money
Mm-hmm.
working for me. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
If these dudes want to be in a truck today, 50, 55 years old, then so be it. I mean, some people start then. Look, I'm not talking down on nobody. Everybody's situation is different. But the point I'm making is that's not the goal for me.
It's funny you
You
said
know,
that because when I say it, people agree with it, but I always get people that they feel like I guess they feel it's not really talking down. It's more like, what were you doing when you were 20 in your 20s and your 30s? You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. I'm keeping it a buck. That's why when I be talking to these shorties now, I be trying to get them together because you get your shit together now. You do 20 years, you 40, you can step away. You still young.
right?
I mean, and you're right. Some people are doing it in their 50s and 60s, but
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's situation is different, but yeah, like I said, with me, I'm trying to, do something because it's there and it was, put to me, and I'm like, damn, it makes sense. And like I say, one day I am gonna go into detail on how to do it.
mm,
But what I will say is very possible to get into real estate and within your first year, 365 days to a year and a half, and it ain't no scam and no BS,
mm,
legitimate, you know, you could easily have 500 liquid, and that's what
oh
the avenue
yeah,
I really wanted to go was, being a landlord, and I'm away from that. You can do it flipping,
you can
you
definitely
can
do it
do it
flipping.
flipping.
You
Yep.
could 500, and I know when I say shit like this, some people be like, "Man, that dude crazy." 500,
No,
you could do that. You could
that's
do that
easy.
easy, man. You could do that
That's
easy.
easy.
That
If
ain't
you know
nothing.
what you're doing
If you know what you're
exactly,
doing,
what
yeah.
like I said, it's a certain formula, a
Mm-hmm.
way to do it. It's
Mm-hmm.
multiple different steps to it, but nah, it's feasible, and that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm trying to get into, where I'm, generating 500 a year, to
Mm-hmm.
where, I see some real money one day.
Yeah.
It's decent money in trucking, but you're not going to get just filthy rich from trucking without putting in a whole bunch of, work. You
Yeah.
gotta scale, you gotta buy trucks, you gotta hire people, you have to be a good like admin, deal with payroll, and so it's like, yeah, you could do it a whole lot simpler in something like crypto, stocks, or real estate, way
Yeah.
quicker than you
Yeah.
ever will scaling a trucking company.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's what I
Yep.
think a lot of people need to open up their eyes to, just other avenues. And if you don't know, you don't know. I went to somebody talking about being a landlord. And like
Mm-hmm.
I said, he started kicking within 15 minutes. And I'll listen. Just like
Mm-hmm.
I said, when I watch your crypto, I got notes
Mm-hmm.
to where I was jotting down different stuff you was saying about, the
Mm-hmm.
wallets and all that. I got all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
when people talk, I listen. And that's another thing. Like, if you pay attention,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't even know he was giving me the game. We only had, one conversation, but everything he told me, I retained it. And
Mm-hmm.
I can duplicate it now on my own without him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm confident. So now I'm just like, boom, I got to get this. When I get this, then I'm finna get me four of these in this particular type of area where the property value is this much, so I
Mhm.
could buy one for 40. Put 30 in it. I got 70 in it, but they flipping for a buck 80.
Mhm.
So I just 110 off one crib, and I'm gonna do that 4 times in a year. So boom, that's
Them,
right there.
them prices you just named, I don't know. I'm seeing like kind of 2012 prices. Where you looking at? Inglewood somewhere? West Inglewood?
It's a particular suburb. It's a particular suburb where they selling
Riverdale.
like that.
Riverdale. See,
And it's one more too. It's another
if
one. But you
I
but
hope
you
not,
hot
I hope
though.
not,
You
I
hot.
hope not, I hope not Dalton with old girl in there. I would stay clear away from Dalton as long as the old girl in there.
No, I ain't messing with Dalton at all.
Yeah,
Dalton been
Dalton.
crazy.
Yeah, Dalton
Dalton,
is
it been wild. Sibley,
Dalton.
all of that.
If it ain't Riverdale, then it's got to be
It's a few of 'em, man. I'm telling you.
Robbins.
But see, this the
Robbins.
point. You
Hmm.
get my drift. Just with
Yeah.
what you're saying, you get my drift. That you
Hmm.
can purchase homes, little single family joints for 40 or
Hmm.
50. Like I said, my
Hmm.
buddy rehabbing for a quarter.
Hmm.
So you got 75. And when they retail, yeah, they're retailing for 170 and up, nothing less.
These
So
so
if you
single
got the,
family homes.
yep, yep. And I'm trying to buy four at a time. And I ain't gonna get into how I'm gonna do all of that, but yeah, you get four, and you could keep three in
S-
your back pocket and just rehab one. You
Sound
see
like
what
a
I'm
short.
saying,
Sound like you gonna get them on a short sale.
man? You see, you know, look, you know about it. You know about it.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. I already am thinking past, and that's why I've been saying I've been thinking this 3 to 6 months ago. So I'm
Hmm.
already working on it. But I'm trying to get, Penske has held up a lot of this would already been done if it
Hmm.
wasn't for the Penske situation. So
Hmm.
see, they're keeping my attention divided between trying to run and go back and forth with them. I don't like to do a bunch of things at once.
Hmm.
So, but I've already, yeah, this has already been in the works. It's just like I'm trying to, seal this situation up. So the truck good, the business good, and now we doing this. And
Hmm.
once I got once I get them four, single family joints in my back pocket, then trucking ain't gonna really matter no more.
Yeah, you ain't even
It'll
think about
matter,
trucking.
but
Hmm.
yeah, I could put a driver in the truck and be like, hey, I'ma just, you know, play the back. Cause I would rather sit, and that's why I'm telling my homeboy, you you rehabbing them for 25, but I'm the type of dude I come in there and rehab them with you.
Hmm.
That way I can learn how to do it, and then I
Hmm.
rehab my own crib for the free with
Hmm.
my own crew and my own team. And he like, you would do that? I'm like, yeah, I do that. You know what I'm saying? I come in and I rehab the cribs with you. I would rather do that than being in a truck anyway. Cause then I got my own freedom to take a break, go move around, do what I want to do, come back. We in here, we shooting this shit, talking about making more money anyway.
Hmm.
So to me, that's my goal is to be contracting and putting together a crib somewhere for sale rather than necessarily constantly being in a truck. That'd be most satisfying for me. So
That
that's why
sound
I
like a
was,
plan.
I would advise a lot of people to be looking into other stuff because it's a lot of easier ways to make money other than
You
trucking.
you ever thought about talking about some of that stuff in your content?
I have, but at the same time, I'm trying to like get stuff more off of the ground. That way,
Hmm.
I have some grounds to kind of show people what I've done rather than because see right now I'm speaking on stuff from what I know how to do more
Hmm.
beforehand. But
Hmm.
once I'm actually look, see, I just bought two of them and able to walk you in and show you the crib,
Hmm.
then it's real. So that's why I ain't really been talking about it. But I've been I was thinking about doing it at my homeboy joint that he contracted because I was over there with him and just to show him like, look, this what we doing right now. Like this how I go from this to this because he cold with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing about him is getting him to do stuff in a timely manner. And that's why I want to do it on my own because I know I'm a dog. I go over here at 7 a.m. and be over here at 7 p.m. to get the job done. Some people they say they want it, but they actually playing and doing a lot of other shit in the process of wasting a whole lot of people time and making a whole bunch of promises that they can't live up to. It's a lot of people like that.
Yeah,
So they
a
waste a
lot.
whole lot of people time.
A lot of people, a lot of procrastinators. In order to get
Exactly.
ahead, out here, you gotta grab bull by the horns and get to it. Oh, nothing come
Right.
to a sleeper but a dream.
Right.
But let me ask you this: since we both got channels and we both probably deal with similar people, why do you think? Because sometimes I be getting frustrated. You know what I mean? So I'll be like, man, I'm giving you the game. I'm giving you everything you need to know. But yet, it seems like I have a multitude of people watching, but it seems like out of this many people watching, this many people get it. So is it they not getting it or they not applying themselves or a combination? Do you feel like that when you
You
talk to
see, I
people?
I picked up on that a long time ago. I think you and Kurt, y'all kind of picking up on that now.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you deal with so many different people, so you like this just the same thing like over and over. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've been kind of got to that point where yeah, a lot of people have good intentions, but they just kind of don't know how to get started, or which direction they want to go
Mm-hmm.
until you kind of. Because I had a guy I just talked to, he wanted to invest in a mentorship, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, before I do any mentorships, I require that you do a consultation. So that way I kind of see where your head's at, what area you're in, and
Mm-hmm.
so forth. So we did the consultation, and he was talking about renting a truck. And I'm like, okay, I just kind of was asking him what type of money did he have to kind of put down. And I think he said he had like 12 grand.
You
And
might
I
talk to the
just
same guy I talked to the other day because this is all the same thing. Was it recently?
see, yeah, this was in the last week. And
Yeah, I
I just
talked to a
told
guy
him, I'm
Sunday.
like, bro, yeah, you gonna put 3 to 5 thousand down on your rental.
Was he in
You,
Ohio?
I believe so. Yep, yep.
I told him it wasn't enough money. I
It
just flat
what?
out
I told
told
him
him.
the
I
same
said it's
thing.
not enough.
So he heard the same thing from me, and I broke it down. I explained to him like, shh, man, with just the down payment on the rental, your insurance, and your first 2 weeks of fuel, you probably at 10.
That's what I
And
told him.
then you got a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
Everything the low board I don't think is completely opened up to you until I don't know how Amazon does it now because I started over 2 years ago, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they give you full access to the load board initially. I think it's
He
in like waves.
but he got to wait the 180 days anyway.
That's what I told him, and that's why I talked him out of it. Well, you said you talked to him too, but I told him I'm like, you're not gonna have Amazon on the table for the first 6 months. So
Mm-hmm.
what you planning on doing? You know,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want you to get a rental, get insurance, because he hadn't paid for the insurance yet.
Yeah, this is
So
the
I'm
same
like,
guy.
yeah.
This is the same
So
guy.
and that be crazy too. How, not to say nothing bad, but it's like, are you looking for a different answer or what? Because I'm not gonna BS you. Like, I know you didn't call me a hope pusher. What? So so, but no, for real, I do try to keep it 1,000 with people, man. I don't just try to sell people. And like then I could have took, you know, I'm still right now, which I'm going up, but I only charge. I could have took 500 from them and been like, yeah, okay, I'll mentor you. But I
Mm-hmm.
told him, you probably wasting your money. I will
Mm-hmm.
wait until right now you need between I would say 20 and 30 to
That's what I
start a
said.
truck, and you still hoping, cause if shit
Yep.
get real bad, that ain't even enough.
Nope.
But at least you got a chance with 20, 25. You say
Mm-hmm.
if you say you got 25 and you got a good plan, you might make it. But if you talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
12 grand,
See, people still throwing 10 around like it was 15 years ago. 10 ain't no
nah,
money no more. See, we used to talk that 10 shit back in the 2000s, and it was a big deal then. 10,000 in 2024, that
it
could
ain't
be
a lot of
literally,
money.
you could go spend, like, getting into this business. I could spend that right now for you right now, today.
Right.
You ain't gonna have no working capital. You ain't gonna have nothing.
Nah. Yo,
You
and then
ain't
you
that.
gonna come in with your back against the wall to the point where what you gonna eventually do, just lose all your money. Be a sad story on the internet.
That's
So
what I told him. So yeah, but 10 ain't no money. I think a lot of people still think 10 is a lot of money. Shit, 100,000 ain't a lot of money no more. 10,000 don't hit like it used to. 100 don't hit like it used to. A million don't hit like it used to. Like none of these numbers hit like they used to. Like you need about 20,000. 10, to be honest with you, you skating on thin ice really in a cargo van. But you know, I could make a person, if a person came to me with 10 and they wanted to get a cargo van, I could make it work for them.
why?
I can't.
I would say because you could buy one flat out. Like I
Right.
bought what 3 cargo vans, not my Sprinter. The
Mm-hmm.
Sprinter gonna cost you, but
Mm-hmm.
I bought 3 cargo vans for 2,500. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I spent. Some of them were under 2,000 at them auctions. The same way. That's how I started. I was at the auctions. I'm like, shit, I could get a cargo van for $1,200 that run. Shit,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you just want to be super cheap and get you an Astro van and do gig apps. You get
Mm-hmm.
an Astro van back then. Even that's changed, but back then you could get
Right.
an Astro van for 12. I had a what I posted the 90. I think it was a GMC, a Chevy
Savannah,
Express.
Chevy
Yep,
Pelka.
yep. That was one of them, and that wasn't even a 2000. That was like a 98, 99. Then I had a
Mm-hmm.
'05 GMC Savannah van, the 2500. That was one of them. And then I had a Ford E350, which I never used. I just sold it, and that was like the church bus, which that
Mm-hmm.
could hold the most freight. So you could start with one of them, and I'm telling you, like the church bus,
Mm-hmm.
like it was converted into a cargo van that had way more space than any other standard cargo vans.
Mm-hmm.
The Ford E350 and super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even a Ford guy, but that was a powerful
Yeah, me
van.
neither. Me neither.
Yep, I sold it to a guy. He drove it up to New York,
Mm-hmm.
and I was surprised it made it.
Yeah.
But
A
yeah,
lot of
I never
a,
actually used the Ford.
a lot of these guys I talk to want to come in with a box truck, and I have to steer a lot of them to a cargo van. Some of them I have to steer all the way down to their personal vehicle because and it'd be like, man, it'd be rough telling these people this. They just don't have the working capital. They just don't have the working capital. I'm like, man, you got to start from humble. Like it seems like a lot of people don't want to start from humble beginnings no more. Everybody want to start up here, but man, starting up here gonna cost. It's gonna
Right.
cost the just learning it. It's gonna cost, and just so many people want to start up here. Like I seen a guy in the chat. I haven't gotten a chance to answer him because I think the engagement between me and you just talking business is good for the people in the chat. But there was a guy in here not too long ago that asked, he must have came in because I pretty much answered his question. He said, Mark, why would you want to start a cargo van business instead of a box truck business if the margins for a cargo van business are smaller? I think I answered. It's more easier to sustain right now. I'm going off my experience, and I know I'm going off how I know I would be able to build it and scale it in my market. I'm talking about my market. I'm in Chicago. It's plenty of opportunity here. And I know I can go hire a bunch of women that's single baby mothers and they're going to come to work. I'm not going to hire a bunch of man-mans. I can hire a bunch of women that are single mothers to come do this small package delivery. And then I can run it up. I can go get a laser ship contract. I can go run a few trucks, as many as T-Force will allow me to run. I can go run I ain't gonna go to veterans. Veterans, they just not set up for master contractors. That's why I never ran with them. But anywhere where I
Veterans
can
kind
go,
of wild, man. Yeah, they kind of
I
wild.
heard they somebody messaged me the other day and said they closing. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I don't
somebody,
know.
I don't see them ever closing. They got too
They
much.
had a lot of yeah, they had a lot going on because they had one side. See, I wasn't even looking at box trucks. I got on box trucks, from YouTube, but I was in a
Hmm.
cargo van, and they had a whole side for box trucks back then, where
Yeah.
they moved 26 footers,
Hmm.
and they moved cargo vans, and they moved 16 foot box
16 foot.
trucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But to me,
sprinters,
that
all of that. Yeah,
every time I would go and talk to the guy, the Indian guy, I think his name is Ed.
yeah.
Ed, is that the
Ali,
Ali? Ali.
Ali.
There you go. Yeah.
Ed is the guy with the white hair. Then it's
Okay.
Ali, and then they
Ali's
got the
okay.
guy out on the floor is Dan. And
Okay.
me and Dan really didn't see eye to eye.
Okay.
That's who it was. Cause last time we talked about Ali, me and Ali was cool. Me and
Mhm.
Ed, we spoke. But if I
Ed
had
is
any
the older
issues, I
white guy, right? Ed is the older
yeah,
white guy. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were cool. We spoke. But if I had any problems, I called or went to Ali.
Hmm.
And I never had any real. Which Ali, once again, he worked for veterans, but
Hmm.
he would get stuff done the quickest,
Hmm.
in my opinion. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I could never. We could never come to terms. It's just I think it's more structured there for independent contractors,
Mhm.
more so than a master con. That's the only company that them and XPO, the only two companies I could never get to budge on their rates. So
Mhm.
I never ran with them. But going back to the guy in the chat, that's why I would do a cargo van business. I'm looking at building something that I know I can sustain and scale. I know how hard it is to hire people out here. I'm speaking from a person who I know I'm going to scale. I know I'm not going to be satisfied with running one truck, one van. To me, one cargo van
Mhm.
is not enough. It's not
Mhm.
enough. So if I were to re-enter this business right now, you know, one cargo van ain't enough. I'm gonna want to scale. And cargo vans, with my knowledge and my experience, I want to at least get to 20 in a matter of a year. So it's gonna be easier for me to scale cargo vans than it's gonna be for me to scale trucks. Now I could scale the trucks. The only problem I'm gonna have is the people. So I'm not going to put myself through a problem. I'm not going to invest into a headache. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to invest into something that I know that I can sustain. I know I can grow. I know I could sustain it. And I know the people that I'm going to be hiring, they have a reason to come to work. They got to come to work. So that's why I would do a cargo van business. I don't care about the margins because I'm going to make my money at scale. I'm going to make it at scale. It'll probably be easier for me to scale and run 20 vans than it would be for me to run 5 box trucks. And I just make my money at scale. And I know that may sound crazy to you, but I saw you coming in. But trust me, I know what I know. I know what I know. So yeah, I'll go get me like a laser ship or on track contract, and I'll try to run as many vans as they'll let me run in there, and I run it up like that. So
Yeah,
that's
and
why
I
I would
mean,
do
you
vans.
could do more than just local work. Like a lot of people, I don't hear this talked about a lot, but after I left veterans, I went over the road. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
left veterans, because then
Mm,
I leased on with a fleet owner. They put their company name and they DOT numbers on my van,
mm-hmm.
and I ran over the road as them. And I still had the authority. I still paid my insurance, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't used. Anytime I
Mm,
got pulled over, I presented their DOT number, which was on the side of my van,
mm-hmm.
and I paid them. It wasn't much for me to add, for them to add me to their insurance. So you could go over the road, as well, and do either or. But I don't think a lot of people want to go over the road, and it get rough out there.
Mm,
Sleeping at Walmarts and things of that nature, and then the downtime. You're gonna run into downtime. It was times where I sat for a day, 2 days, 3 days at a time.
mm-hmm.
You gonna pick up deadhead. Sometimes I just got pissed off and deadhead at home and stayed home for a week. Wouldn't answer
Oh
the
wow.
phone, but it was I could afford to do it, like you said, in a cargo van. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't shit. I drove. I did hit it back from damn New Hampshire, man.
Mm-hmm.
New Hampshire. I was just pissed, and I didn't plan it. But they were telling me like go in this direction, so I go 100 miles in this direction, and it's like, well, we still don't see nothing. Go a little further towards Louisville, and I'm like, I'm just going home. I'm in Kentucky. I could just go through Indiana and go home.
Right.
And then I just purposely wouldn't answer the phone for a week. And by the end of the week, they calling me like, "Every you going do you work for us anymore? Like, what you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, the last time I was out, y'all screwed me over. So,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't in a hurry to go right back out there. But yeah, it get a little rough over the road.
Let me ask you this:
That's
if you was to scale right now, would you scale in a car? Would you scale a cargo van business? Let's say you just wanted to invest a bunch of money and you had an option to scale a cargo van business or a box truck business. Which would you choose?
I'm gonna be honest. I will go with box trucks just because I'm gonna
Why?
try to do it quicker. I'm gonna go for the bigger money
Mm-hmm.
quicker. And I've already had, well, I had two of my own trucks, which were rentals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to own the operator. The guy out of the semi, he
Mm-hmm.
rented a Penske truck and he ran under my authority
Mm-hmm.
for a while till he got his own authority. And yeah, he kind of flew off on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would have to do box trucks just because, like you said, you're going to have to get probably 20 cargo vans, 15,
Mm-hmm.
20 cargo vans. And just like you said, you could probably do that in 5 or 10 box trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm already in that lane and I'm used to moving box trucks, I understand, what comes with it. Then I would just go box trucks. But I totally understand why you would go if I now you said scale. If I was starting over, I was starting a cargo van. So it's two
No,
different things.
let's say you not even in the truck. Let's say you whatever you got $1 million, just $1 million
Mm,
liquid. You want to start a business. You already know what you know from being in the business from a cargo van perspective, from a box truck perspective. You out now, but
mm.
I'm gonna re-enter. Would you re-enter to scale a cargo van business or a box? But you said a box truck business, and you
Knowing what I
said
know now, yeah, box truck.
okay,
Being brand new, cargo van. If I didn't know nothing and
okay,
I was just fresh like I was when I started before, go cargo van. Because
mm-hmm,
like I said, you can't do shit like that in a box truck. You can't
mm-hmm,
deadhead back from damn New Hampshire. You can't go home for a week and it was just starting out. You
mm-hmm,
know, my insurance on my cargo van wasn't nothing but, you know, 600,
mm-hmm,
700 a month.
mm-hmm,
My note was like 4 or 5. So I ain't have a whole bunch of overhead. So, and I would look at it like I'm an owner operator. So if I'm out here, y'all not moving me correctly or treating me like y'all value my services, then, you know, I'm going to go
mm-hmm,
home. And then they had two dispatchers for the particular company that I mainly dealt with that was like night and day.
mm-hmm,
One guy, he just bless you off the rip and he'll send you to Georgia, you know, and it'll be, I don't know, 900, you know, I forget the exact mileage, but I know he will pay you well. Just put it like that. He'll pay you sometime over $1 a mile. I done went to
mm-hmm,
Georgia, for over 1,000, $1,200, which might not seem like a whole lot, but back then that was good money, especially if they could move you back out of there. in a timely fashion. So yeah, it was times I was going down to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I've been to Boston, New Hampshire, Chesapeake, Virginia, over there where you cross the water for like 20, 30 minutes. So I've been a few different places, but yeah, I ain't like, just the fact of getting stuck out there. That was my biggest, kind of pet peeve. But they had two dispatchers, and one guy I've read about him on like the internet. I guess a lot of people can't stand him, and he would just lowball you.
Mm-hmm.
He trying for some. I don't know what incentive he was getting, but he would try to get you to move for the least amount possible. And I'm like, no. And then he wouldn't just take no for an answer. Then he would want to know why, and then he would try to get personal, and then start an argument, to where by the end you ready to hang up on him. And so yeah, they just had like two different type of dispatchers, and one that I was really, cool with, and the other I didn't care for at all. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did that for a while, and then yeah, I caught on the YouTube, and I'm just like, I was going through that, and I'm like, I'm done with this, and so I was all about a box truck after that.
Let me ask you this. This is more of like a fun question. If you knowing what you know, and you had a goal, you was challenged to gross $1 million in logistics. No matter which way you could mix and match, how would you do it? 1 year, you got 1 year, you got to gross $1 million. You could mix and match. You could do Amazon, you could do OTR, you could do Find My, you could do moving, you could have 2 trucks doing this, 3 trucks doing that, but you got a 10 asset maximum. So I mean, you could do less, but you can't do more than 10 vehicles. It could be a mix of cargo vans and box trucks. What would you do?
So you ain't throwing semis in
Mm-mm.
there. Oh, because I was gonna say
Cause,
me,
cause,
I'm
cause then,
instantly going the semi
uh-huh.
route. Then if
Okay.
I'm trying to just specifically make $1 million, then I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go the semi
Gross,
route.
just gross a million, just
Right,
gross.
but if I don't know, then to gross, then I just have to do some calculations, because I'm thinking I can make 120 to 140 per box truck. So I mean, you say 8 box trucks get you like 16 drivers. Because I was taught that, and I learned that as well. You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
hire one, two drivers at a. You kind of want to be bringing in three, four people at a time. Because
Mm-hmm.
usually only one of them gonna make it, and that's what I kind of learned. From hiring drivers. If you hiring one driver at a time,
Mm-hmm.
you need that driver and at least one backup for every truck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say maybe 8 box trucks, 16 drivers, maybe even 20 drivers, because you're going to have some backups in there. But it could be done. But yeah,
Yeah, it could be done.
you're
Yeah.
going you gonna be grinding. You definitely going to be grinding. You're going to be doing some dispatching, and you probably ain't going to be able to just do it with Amazon Relay. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to have some type of, I would immediately, if that was the case too, I would be looking for some type of daytime contract, because you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
wanting to run that truck probably day and night, honestly, to try to
Mm-hmm.
hit that.
Okay. Yeah, if I did it now and I wanted to come in with for the money, right? With the least I would, if that was my goal, like if I got challenged to that goal, I would want to do it with the least, me personally, with the least amount of vehicles possible.
Hmm.
So my cargo van strategy would be out the window if I was getting challenged for this. I would go
Hmm.
with 2 final mile routes. So I would have two 26 footers doing final mile, and I would have 3 trucks doing moving. I think I could do 5 trucks. I
Fine.
guaranteed to gross $1 million. Yeah,
But see,
probably
that might
do
not be
probably
a
do
bad
more.
idea. But a lot of people don't want to. You say they don't really want to move.
Not no more
So.
because I mean here let me take that back. People do want to move. It's just like I say all the time. Back when I was starting, I get all the unwanted people. Anybody with a felony. Because you gotta remember, wasn't no Uber Eats, wasn't no gig economy. It was either you go find a job or you don't. But the unwanted people couldn't go find a job because they had exes, right?
Right.
So, back then you can go to any moving company and hire you. You know what I'm saying? So, but now with all the increased competition, plus just people's mindset is not it's not set on work, period. So
Right.
the more labor intensive work, definitely not. So but there are people that are willing to do the work. It's just the people that are willing to do that type of work now, that you know who I'm talking about, they'll come work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had them work for me. They'll work for you for a small period of time and then they gone. There's no loyalty with them. So it'd be hard to maintain a business when you got people coming in and you don't know how long they're going to stay with you. The only reason they're coming in because you were there and you presented the opportunity at the moment, but the whole time they're there, they're looking for other opportunity. They're not going to stick with me. Even though I'm a good paymaster, not going to stick with me. You see what I'm saying? I've done it so many times, you know what I'm saying, that I know that time is coming. And they never tell you when they leaving. They don't give you a 2 weeks notice. It's just they just leave you high and dry. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And then I've
So
had, drivers that knew they were leaving, so they would create drama to like
mhm,
enhance it. I don't know. That was, people need a reason. Just leave.
mhm,
If you leaving, just leave. But people will try to make an excuse for why.
mhm,
You just gonna deal with different stuff. Then you're gonna have people that are like vetting your drivers. That's
mhm,
you know, I dealt with that with Amazon. With people pulling up to different post offices, they're gonna come in contact with other owner operators that may be looking to get out of their truck. And then don't let it be a woman, and if she nice looking, because I told
you
you a lot of women they drive these trucks. So you see she in your truck, and then somebody jump out. Hey, how you doing? They start a conversation. Hey, what you making? Hey, I'm
mhm,
making this. Well, I'll pay you this. A lot of
mhm.
that go on. People don't know behind the scenes.
You make your driver sign a non-compete. I
Yeah, you
always
said
have
that,
my driver
and
sign a
see,
non-compete.
I didn't. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
know I dealt with that with at least one driver, because I
Mhm.
think it was a few different people. I could just tell that kind of had you know they eye on this particular driver.
Mhm.
And yeah, eventually, yeah, it was some strange, and all it take is a couple extra dollars.
They
You
left. Did they
know,
leave you?
yep, yep, eventually, yep, and
And they
then it
went.
was two. Like I said, I set up, policies and procedures, because I was
Mhm.
still learning about how
Mhm.
to have drivers. I'm letting people in the truck and not giving them specific guidelines. I'm trying to do things by word of mouth and good faith and take people's, word.
Mhm.
And eventually I realized, no, that's not the case. When they get in your truck, they need to sign something that
Mhm.
specifies different things that are or are not to take place,
Mhm.
and what would be certain consequences for what. I've had a truck left in a particular place where it wasn't supposed to be. And it wasn't nothing but 10 or 15 minutes from where it should have been. But
Mhm.
I had a driver refuse to take the truck back to where we were parking it at, just for really no reason. And then say, hey, no, the truck's going to be at my house.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wait, what? That ain't where we park. No, the truck going to be here. So needless to say, that person was let go. But
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, that's stuff that you gonna deal with, you know, with different drivers.
And
And
and and and that's why I don't like. I'm only saying this stuff for this live stream, these like hypotheticals and stuff. To be honest with you, that's something I really don't ever want to do again. To deal with people in this type of industry, the way I dealt with it from 2010 to 2022. Nowadays, I only see it being like people, their outlook on work is different, and people aren't. uh dependable as they used to be.
Nah.
Like, I would feel like to scale, I'm gonna be honest with you, to scale any business, I'm gonna be on pins and needles every day. I feel more comfortable, let's say, with majority women in a cargo van business because I see them having a reason to come to work, right? Because a lot of women are single mothers, so
But it's one side that you're not touching on because I've dealt with that.
what's that?
And it's not being funny, but women at times can get emotional. You see what I'm saying? So I've dealt with it, you know, or they'll
Give
expect
me give me an
different
example of
treatment
emotional on the
because
job.
they're shit
Nah,
crying and shit.
nah. See, here's the
Crying.
thing. Check
Yeah,
this out, and
that's
this where some women finna get mad. They fought for equal. They fought for equal rights. They fought for equal rights. Women fought for equal rights. Now that they got equal rights, that not finna move the goalposts. You fought for equal rights, so it's not finna be no, no. You got to do the same job the man got to do. You got to take it the same way the man. You fought for these equal
and
rights, so
I
now that you
mean
got equal
that's
rights, you got to
that's
do the
what it
same
is
type of
up
work.
front, but that's not necessarily what's implied. If you get my drift.
I hear
Like
you,
they
but
don't expect to be treated like a dude. You cannot necessarily talk to a woman like a dude. They gonna get
give
offended
me
a little, and
give me an
some of these
example.
dudes get offended. But
Some of the dudes don't get offended now. But give me an example of what you're talking about, like a scenario where you would talk to a dude one way, but what, man, move the truck or like what? Could you move the truck or
I
like
I talk to them all the same way, but I'm just telling you the different reactions that I got. Like, yeah, I've had people, just and for their own personal reasons or whatever they personally was going through, like crying in the truck. Like, I'm just being honest.
like
I
you've had
seen it.
women crying in the truck, but that probably was
Crying in
something
the truck, literally shed
personal, or
tears.
was it because something you made them do or the job was just too frustrating
It
for
wasn't
them at
nothing
the
I
moment?
made them do. No, it was
Uh-huh.
just that they were overwhelmed. I was just telling this story, but I had a driver pull up in Lafayette, Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
delivering Amazon. And
Mm-hmm.
I had went through issues in Lafayette, Indiana. I had another guy tell me he's went through issues in Lafayette, Indiana, where you pull up, you want to drop your freight at the post, and they treat you some type of way. So I had a
Mm-hmm.
driver who was kind of getting the hang of stuff. So now she's finally kind of out on her own, and she pulls up at the post office in Lafayette,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a dock, but for some reason, this particular day, they tell her, no, you can't use the dock. You need to
Mm-hmm.
use your lift gate. Well, she had 12 skids. Anybody
Mm-hmm.
that run a box truck know getting 12 skids off of a box truck using the lift gate without a dock is tricky because you right there at the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So she had to unload 12 skids in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of the night at a
Mm-hmm.
post office using the lift gate. It was
Okay.
physically challenging, something that
Mm-hmm.
probably was set up for a man. It
Mm.
kicked her ass. I
Yeah.
get a phone call, she crying because somebody's smoking a cigarette in a car with the headlights on her while
She's
she's
scared.
doing this. No, they mocking her.
Okay.
They mocking her. He's sitting in the car smoking a cigarette, looking at her with the headlights on her, like, yeah, look, yeah, get the shit off the truck. And no, you
Okay.
can't. And her issue is it's a dock right here, but they
Mm-hmm.
won't let me use it. So yeah, it was a big, yeah, that's a prime example, and that's a real story of a
Mm-hmm.
call that I got in the middle of the night of somebody literally in tears, like, I can't believe they doing this to me. Like, it's a doc right here. He got the headlights on me right now as I'm talking to you, and the skid
So
just fell over. Let me call you back. Like one of
so
them.
let so let me ask you this then. Because see, I've never had a woman. I only had one woman work for me, and she worked in the office. Obviously, moving in final mile is not something
Right.
a woman can do. So when she calls you crying, I'm pretty sure you was kind of thrown back, like what the hell. So how did you handle that?
I'm like, calm down. first of all, like you overreacting. And she's like, no, but it's a dock right here. And I can't really understand why they not letting her use the dock
Mm-hmm.
because it would have made it so much easier and she would have had no problem unloading. At a dock,
Mm-hmm.
she could handle it just like a dude. But like I say, you got a foot worth of clearance, then you had a lift gate. You have to pull that stuff off a certain way,
Right.
especially when you 12 skids loaded. Now, if you got
Mm-hmm.
6 skids, you got room inside the truck to maneuver until you get to the lift gate. But if you got 12 skids, you pretty much just got the lift gate. So you got inches to work with. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what she was going through and being new. So, yeah, I just told her to calm down and that I had been through a similar situation, at the post office where they wanted me to, in the process of unloading, I'm already 3 skids off the truck. Move your truck from this dock to this dock. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't know what to do. So, yeah, it was a bad situation. And after she had to pull over and call her mom for support. It was a
What?
crazy situation. Yeah, yeah, it was a crazy night, man. It was a,
So
a
yeah,
straight fiasco.
did you let her go after that?
No, I ain't let her go.
Oh.
Cause it was a learning experience and she made it through. And that's what the next day we talked. And she was like, I almost quit last night. And I'm like, but you didn't. So see that built character. And see now so she learned stuff from, working with me in a position, but yeah, she was on the brink of just breaking. She literally she told me the next day, like, I just want to call you and tell you I quit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you was finna have to come to Lafayette and unload the truck.
Well, shit,
So I'm like,
I never known Lafayette to because this mixed down in Lafayette. You got black folks and white folks down there. So was it a racist thing?
I'm not sure. I know I went through issues there. I think it's just one of the some of the particular people. It don't necessarily to me have to be racially motivated, but it's
Mm-hmm.
some people just miserable, and just want to put their misery off on other individuals. I mean, you're going to deal with that on a daily basis. People that ain't unhappy or hurt people. So, I feel like it ain't always necessarily racially motivated, but you do got some
Mm-hmm.
hateful people out here that, for whatever reason, want to make other people's lives hard,
Mm-hmm.
for some type of gratification in their own, life, which I don't understand at all. But you see that more and more nowadays.
That's why I said if I was to do the come back in, I would do cargo van because I would hire women and they dealing with small parcels. But
Yeah,
I guess maybe even with small parcels, you could. I never thought about that emotional.
I've
Um,
dealt with it. I've seen it.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I've never dealt with women as labor employees,
I've
but I
had
guess.
two women drivers. Yep, and that was the first case, and the second one, she was. I mean, I ain't gonna even lie. From the time she walked up the truck, she was like eye candy. I knew it was a problem coming. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? That's why when she got in the truck, I'm like, stay away from me. Like, keep your distance. I kept it business because I already knew what. So then I had all of the other owner operators wanting her to work for them. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, I pull up at Amazon trying to train, and they be all out the window, like, you know. So it was just, yeah, you get two
What happened?
different.
What happened to her?
Somebody stole her. Yeah, she
Oh,
came
that's
up
the one that
missing.
got stole.
Yeah, yeah, she came up missing.
She at the same facility. You still run into her? Nah.
I don't see her, but it was like some type of BS. She really, really needed money
Hmm.
initially. So the first driver I had to train her from scratch. So that
Hmm.
was a big headache. This one was with it. Her only problem was she drove a little too fast. But she could handle the truck, back it up to the dock. She was strong, could load and unload,
Hmm.
no problem. So yeah, she was one of the best drivers I had, and then yeah, she really needed money, and then all of a sudden she was having some mysterious like car problems, and wasn't sure if she was gonna be leaving, but it was a possibility. I think that was when she was getting set up with everything and just trying to make sure everything was what she was being told that it was. Because she had told me that a couple people, different people, were coming up just random. Oh, that truck looked like it's leaning. The truck wasn't even leaning. But this was stuff she would tell me like, yeah, somebody came, and I'm already knowing what it is, because I know how males operate. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking that if I'm sitting at the post office and you look over and this particular person in the truck next to you, sitting there, because you're going to run into other drivers at these post offices. And you might get two dudes that don't even look twice at each other, but you get a certain type of female sitting there. What you think gonna happen? A conversation gonna get started, and then it goes into how much you making. Oh well, shit, I'll pay you this. And these dudes, they be suckers. They'll pay an extra couple dollars an hour because it's a female, and
They
they
feel
just
like they might have a chance.
exactly. So they'll probably give her whatever she want. Oh, I'll give you 30 an hour, to do it. And he probably can't even afford to pay her what he promised him. But so yeah, I done dealt with. That's why I kind of appreciate my journey, because yeah, I got to have drivers attempt to scale. I was crazy. I bought, or rented a second box truck in January, and I was moving them, but it just wasn't the best idea, But this was coming out of 21, going into 22. January of 22 is
January
when I.
22 was good, wasn't it?
It was decent, and like I said, January, February, I was still moving two box trucks, and yeah, then I had the owner operator. He rented the Penske truck, so I was moving three trucks, you know, and yeah, that was another thing. Each night, if it wasn't her, it was him. Now he tripping. He don't want to finish his route because it's too cold outside, and so it was no peace, man. It was like every night I'm going through 1, 2 a.m. they get started. This wrong, that wrong. That Lafayette, 1, 2, 3 a.m. It was always middle of the night. This damn driver, the older guy, he was 69, 70 then. He go on Amazon, load his truck, and decide he gonna go in the lobby, check out, but sit there and go to sleep. I said, you did what? Because Amazon calling me at 6, 7 in the morning, where's your driver at? None of this shit then showed up to the post office. So I'm like, Ronald, where are you at? So I called him. Hey, where you at? Man, you ain't gonna believe what happened, man. No, I ain't gonna believe what happened. I know you done been to the post office and it's a mistake. Man, I sat in the damn lobby and fell asleep for 2 hours, man. 2 hours? So he late for everything.
Yeah.
He done just straight took a nap. And then if he wasn't asleep, almost every route. And he was a trucker. So that's why I didn't understand it. Like, man, get your fuel, get your, because he was real particular about what he wanted to have in the truck with him. He needs soda, he need water, he need coffee. He got to take a shit when he at the, he was particular. And I understood he was older, so he was kind of stuck in his way. So I didn't bother him. But I would just tell him, do all of this in advance. So once you load it, when you get in your truck, you could go down the road. You move slow.
Right.
You load slow. You talk to people. He go in the truck, start, hey, where you from? You don't look like you from here. That's how he talk to people. And I had a guy, I was in the truck, and he like, damn, how you know I ain't from here? I'm like, shit, he know everything. Like, shit, I don't know. But a guy asked me that. He was like, how you know I ain't from here? And he told him, this what he tell the guy. I'm just saying this for theatrics. But he tell the guy, he said, well, I know you ain't from here because you put mustard on that hot dog. No, it wasn't mustard. It was mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise,
And
yeah.
the guy looked. He said, yeah, you can't be from here putting mayonnaise on that hot dog like that. And I'm telling him, like, bro, that's kind of offensive. You know what I'm saying? And the guy kind of looked at him like, but he was old school, so he ain't care. But yeah, that's what the guy asked me, like, how you know I ain't from here? He like, yeah, well, first off, you put mayonnaise on a hot dog. I was like, that's kind of bold.
But shit, he honest. Well, I ain't never seen nobody put no mayonnaise on no hot dog here. Not Chicago style. Shit.
he was in the truck stop putting mayonnaise on a hot dog. So
Yeah, yeah, that's some
yeah,
weird
but
shit.
yeah, he was. So yeah, I've dealt with, they'll take turns messing up on me. One be
Mm-hmm.
doing good, the other one be tripping.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if you try to run around with two, three women. You
Mm-hmm.
know, one week she cool, but she going off. The
Mm-hmm.
next week, now she cool, but that's how your driver's gonna be. They'll
Mm-hmm.
take turns like, messing up on you. So
Yeah, I mean, I know it's the latter years, it just like 2020, 2021, 2022, horrible, bro. Horrible. And it was getting to that point, but the pandemic just and it
yeah,
wasn't like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you can count on everybody coming to work. I didn't have to sleep on pins and needles. I didn't have to worry if everybody was showing up to work the next day. Either way, I had overflow of people, but I didn't have those problems. Like as time went on, especially 2020, 21, 22, man, I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just praying, trying to ask the Lord to get me to the end of 2022 so I could be, and it just never failed. Every day it was something. Every day it was something. So my my
yep.
my my reviews went from like a 4.9 to like a 3.8, a 3.9. A lot of that had to do with time and attendance, people not showing up to work, having to reschedule, coming late to jobs, shit like that. So
hmm
yeah, I get it. 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 All right,
Yeah, it's
y'all.
it's more peaceful for me, running my own truck. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I bet.
It's a
I
lot more
bet. You only gotta
peaceful.
worry. You only gotta worry about you. You only
Right.
gotta worry about you. So shit.
Especially with something like Amazon, where right now rejecting loads and being late, that was another thing. Like, I was used to having a high performance score, and now your performance getting hit for stuff that have nothing to do with you, something that somebody else may have did. You don't agree with it, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell Amazon, well, I'm gonna discipline this driver. Can you take that? That's not how it works. So
Right.
once they mess up, that's on the company
You.
as a whole.
Yeah. Yep. It's your
So
driver,
yeah,
your responsibility. So
right.
all right, y'all. So I ain't see nobody else wanted to come up. So I'm gonna shut the call in off. I'm gonna close this poll. Look like the poll was trying to catch back up. I'm gonna close it out. 66% said it was weak. 33% said it peaked. So two thirds people out of everybody that voted said it was a weak peak season. So that's
And
that.
that kind of reflect, yeah, what I saw in the
Mhm.
comments.
Yeah. So that's 33%. I'm just gonna attribute the 33% that said it was good to just being skilled and know how to move their truck. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it's gonna take from here on out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be skilled, you gotta be strategic. I think rates prior to the pandemic. I'm not gonna speak on the pandemic because I think the pandemic, it was just you couldn't fail. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? So prior to the pandemic, those rates that would go up on the in the middle mile, I'm not speaking Amazon, I'm just speaking in general, like those those times I don't and I could be wrong, I just don't see peak season prior to the pandemic. I just don't see it ever coming back. I don't. I don't. So I think peak season is just like any other time of the year now. I think you got to have strategy. I think you can't sit around and wait till November and December and think the rates are gonna go up. And you know, if you're behind on your bills or something, I'll just make it up peak season. I think them, I think them days is
I think that was a lot of probably the issue. People thought they were gonna be able to, see 20 sitting in their account, you know,
mm,
and that wasn't the case. Even if you made 20,
mm,
a lot of that was expenses. So
mm,
that's what I'm thinking that, because, one of my, I think I got a video from 2 years ago where I made what, 30
mm,
in 1 month, and but it was 5 weeks in that month. So I made like 20, almost 25 in 4 weeks.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, I think them times over. Somebody said they made like 22, but I start questioning, how effectively you actually running.
Mhm.
Cause you could push up your total gross, taking cheap freight.
Mhm.
So if you just pick $1,000 loads every night, but you know you only getting 230, 240, 250 a mile. Some people may make over 20 grand, but not actually retain even half of that, just because they running in the red. So
You think a lot of these guys out here running in the red?
yes, I think yeah, at least
That's
probably 30 to 40%, and
shit.
don't even know it.
I see more than that.
Yeah, I'm just being modest, but yeah, I think a lot of people are running in the red, and I don't think a lot of people think that you can run in the red for 6 months to a year. You can,
Mm-hmm.
and just get by. That's usually how it gets you, and then one day it just slap you in the face. You just wake up and your insurance bill is more than you got in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And you were getting by month after month. Damn, I'm barely making it. I got an extra $200. I got an extra $100. I got just enough to pay my insurance. Damn, I ain't got enough to pay my insurance this month.
Let me ask you this before we get out of here, and be honest with me. Do you think box trucking is a sustainable business where a person can create a box truck business, run that box truck, and be able to maintain that business and maintain um, the standard cost of living? So that box truck, one box truck, owner operator, maintain the box truck business, be able to pay a modest rent, modest utilities, maybe a modest car note, you know what I'm saying? Um, man, do I want to make it even more difficult? Do I want to put a family in there? Nah, nah. Yeah. Do you think that's possible, or do you think an individual would still have to have some other source of income coming in?
Yeah, either some other source or like a supporting cash. If you got a significant other that
Mm-hmm.
could pull their weight, everybody got different circumstances. Some people, their houses paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Some people lucky like that. They living in a house that's paid off. It just depends. Some people don't have a car note. It just kind of depend on your situation. But the average person, one box truck with the way things are right now, and they don't have any type of support system or anything, then yeah, it's gonna be tight. You better just really know what you're doing. You know. But I think most people have some type of support system.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm.
know, mm, I mean, I believe so, but it may not be the case for
Well, most of the
everybody.
guys that I've talked to in testimonials, um, like Sirius Lanes, for instance, I don't think his wife works at all. But then that goes when you break things down. I always say, well, I got to take care of home. And then that's when the business gets stuck up. So if the
Yeah,
business is getting stuck up, that means the business is not making enough to, cover the business, what the business needs, and home. You figure if you averaging, just say you grossing somewhere between 15 and 20, and I'm keeping it a buck. I'm not even finna be modest. It's costing you 60, 70%. And I feel like that's on the low end. In most cases, 80%. You see what I'm saying? So, now how much does that leave you to run off of? You know what I'm saying? So you figure you got 10% or 20% of that 20 grand left for the month. So let's say 4 grand. I just don't see, a person be and even modest, $4,000 is not a lot of money.
Nah, yeah, it ain't. But I
It,
mean,
it,
it depends on what you will. I know some guys, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. They live in their truck. That's
mhm.
becoming more and more popular now.
Box truck or
I know
semi?
box trucks. I know individuals that live in a box truck. Some got sleepers, some don't. Some did it even over the summertime. Like you just be shocked, you know. So
Is they living in a
eh,
box truck because they have no choice?
I don't. I've never asked him. He looked like he comfortable though. The people
I
that
mean,
I see, they take their showers at the truck stop and they have it set up where they got the area with their little refrigerator. They put all of that in the box trucks. And if you're gonna live in one, then you will put some money into it to be comfortable, I would think. And I ain't never actually been inside these particular people trucks, but they got good sleepers on them, and they ain't sleeping on the front seat like a lot of individuals that just do it from time to time. But yeah, it's becoming more popular that people work and live in a box truck.
people in the chat saying pretty much no and yes and no, depending on if they live in modest or slightly bit above modest. But for the
Hmm.
most part, it's seems like it's borderline. And the reason why I asked that is because I think a lot of new people that come in, they don't understand how much it costs, the operation costs to run a box truck. They don't understand that the margins are low. And what I started to when I started to realize that, at what I'm finna say next is when I started doing testimonials and everybody kept saying I got to take care of home, and that's when I realized a lot of people wasn't accounting for their living when
Right,
they,
because
you know,
majority of the people don't pay themselves. They
I know
don't. Like they
they don't.
don't think they think that they're supposed to make purchases with their business bank card. They
Hmm.
don't think it's an issue. Most people
Hmm.
start out like that. They don't start out, like I said, it's simple. It's just having a personal account and just transfer. If you
Hmm.
just simply do that, because at least when applying for a loan or whatever, they just see a 750 or $800 transfer per week. They don't
Hmm.
see what you did with the $800.
Hmm.
They see you at the liquor store, with your business bank card, and that will show up like in. So they like, you want a loan and you using your business bank card at the liquor store
Yeah.
or shit like that. So people don't think that makes a difference. The underwriting department see that, and that'll be the reason why they don't give you a loan because of the
Exactly.
way you making purchases. Whereas, okay, he taking every week 750 out. Well, we wonder where that 750 going, but we ain't gonna really trip on it because we
Hmm.
didn't see what he spent it on. And
Right.
then you could buy whatever you want out of your personal. But a lot of people don't understand that. They just swipe. Even people that I made the video with my homeboy, and he know better. I think he was just trying to. He was pissed at me or something. He like, yeah, I'm robbing from the business today. This is all
Hmm.
bullshit. That's got, you know.
Hmm.
That's just how. And he know he not supposed to spend the money like that. But he just, hey, I'm just swiping the business debit card today. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 I think a lot of people don't, or they don't realize or understand that, yo, when you coming into business. So what I see is everybody, they want to start a box truck business because they watching this content. I don't know if they're watching current content. I'm just assuming this is content from the pandemic because I'm still getting a flurry of people that are interested to get into the space. I did a call-in show
yep.
last week and it was back to back youngins. Yeah, Mark, I'm gonna get into the box. So I don't think they real like it's not that much money where you're gonna be able to sustain the business and be able to maintain what they think from I guess what they see, the way that whoever's portraying it, you're not gonna live that life type of lifestyle in the box truck. You're gonna be barely getting by.
Cause
If
yeah,
you're,
if you looking at the pandemic when people built up money and a lot of the things you may be looking at now, people bought back then, or
but see, I
you.
I don't know if they looking at, and see that's the thing. I don't know if they looking at old content or if it's a new flurry of creators out there that's probably on Instagram that like me and you don't know about.
It's a
Because
lot of creators I don't know about. Like it's like new ones pop up every day, and some of them with big channels. I be like, how did I overlook this part? It's a new dude that just popped up. I think he got like 20,000 subs. It's a few people that they come out of nowhere, and I've never actually seen
box truck,
any of their content. Yep, yep. I think you mentioned one guy, and I've never seen him before. Uh, is it the Anthony guy? Guy
Anthony.
named
Oh, the
something like that.
Antonio guy, big guy.
I am Anthony or something. I don't know.
Oh, Anthony TV. He a semi truck guy. I
Is
am
it? I
Anthony.
just
He's
I
semi
just
truck.
I just started kind of catching on to some of his content. It's a few channels that
Yeah, he's semi
I
truck.
never knew anything about, and
Yeah,
they got pretty big followings.
yeah, yeah. I am Anthony. He's a semi truck guy. Yeah, he follows my channel. I follow his channel. I am Anthony TV. Yeah, he a semi truck
Hmm.
guy. Uh,
So how long has he been doing it? Is he not new?
he was
I
he
wouldn't
was
think.
he was actually doing it before me because he had way more subscribers than me, but I kind of passed him up. But then now it look like he catching back up because a few of his last videos kind of caught fire. But he
Uh huh.
now he a semi truck guy. He drives for he's local in Florida. I think he drives reefer for Gordon, I believe. Yeah,
I
he's
got
a
you.
semi
I got
truck guy. He's a semi.
you. Right.
Yeah, his videos have been going kind of um crazy lately because
I've
he's
never
doing,
seen him up until like 2 3 weeks ago. Never
yeah,
even heard of him.
yeah, YouTube
So
pushing him. Cause I passed him
yeah.
up. He had me by some thousands, and then I passed him
Hmm.
up. But now he catching back up because like a few of his last videos done did like 10, 20,000 in a couple days.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So they pushing him, and ain't too many people creating content no more.
I've been noticing, seeing like my content has been, pushed a little more than, normal. And my
Hmm.
audience, it's got older and younger.
Mine's
It
got a
was a
lot
time
younger.
where I didn't
Hmm.
have a lot of people over pretty much the whole spectrum. Now I have individuals watching. Cause I used
Hmm.
to didn't have people under 25 that watched, and I didn't have people like over 55. But
Hmm.
now it's percentages in like both of those categories. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's just a little change. Like I watch the analytics and kind of see,
Hmm.
changes. And I remember when I didn't have a younger audience, and I
Hmm.
didn't really have an older audience. It was more like in the middle.
Hmm.
And now it's kind of reaching out. And I don't know if that's like when you pass a certain amount of subscribers or how they choose when they want to push.
From what I see is, I think because there's a less amount of people creating content with those tags,
Hmm.
the people who have been contributing to the algorithm is rewarding them. So there is a flurry of people that, I've seen the interest start to go back up as far as box truck, cargo van
Hmm.
inquiries, people searching it, but there's less people creating the content. So the people that have been diligent and consistent, the algorithm is rewarding them now. So, so they put me in front of a bunch of, like, my demographic was always 32 to like 55, but now
Yep,
they put
mine's
me
too.
in front of they put
Yep.
me in front of a bunch of 24 and 25-year-old and 23-year-olds, and um and they want the information. They'll come up and listen, and I'll crack my jokes, and I give them the information that they're looking for. They want to work, but what I'm seeing just from talking to them, even though they're young, they've already made mistakes. I had the one guy clipped up. He had a CDL, got fired. He was smoking weed. The other guy was going 50 miles an hour around the curve and turned the truck over. I had another guy a few weeks ago. This guy, I don't know, he talking about getting a money order and a vanilla debit card and finna take the vanilla debit card to buy a box truck and like so I'm just listening. It's
No,
different for
no,
me,
but
but
one thing I do want to touch on, and I saw a guy and I was impressed. He was on Kirk's channel, the
mm,
Jamaican dude,
mhm,
and just like the mindset that he had and some of the
mhm,
moves that he made. Because
mhm,
Kirk threw a few questions at him,
mhm,
and one thing that stood out to me was how he was kicking game on how he got a low interest rate personal loan, but he kept that separate from his truck purchase.
mhm,
So when he purchased the truck, it actually was in his business name, but he owned it.
mhm,
So the loan had no, ties to his truck purchase.
mhm,
So some of the stuff that he was, kicking, you know, he was a smart dude, and you
mhm,
could tell that he did his research. For a younger guy, different things that he was saying, he was thinking. Like he didn't just go through Penske and get their financing. That personal loan would have been a better route. So different stuff he was saying, I'm like, you know, it made sense.
yeah,
A lot of people, and that's why I would say a lot of people might need to look at that and just kind of, see the different moves that he was making because he was a smart dude.
yeah,
You don't get that a lot with people, thinking about the moves that they make and starting out. Usually
mhm,
it's down the line when people start to see the mistakes. But he seemed like he was on it from the jump, and I,
yeah,
and I was listening to him.
yeah. He said he was watching a lot of us, so yeah, he just followed the
Hmm.
blueprints that was set out. The thing is, a lot of these guys, I think, that's being pushed to me now, they coming from probably Instagram or they watching the influencers, that probably what were watching the influencers that were their age, and I think they coming to the realization, like, how can somebody my age how can I learn about business from somebody my age? I gotta go find somebody that got a little bit more experience. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's a combination of that and probably it's just not much content being put out. The space is not
Yeah,
what it used to be. I mean, you got
right.
we trying to keep it alive, but it should get wearing sometimes. Like I took a week off, took a vacation earlier this month, and after 3 days of missing, man, people was, man, Mark, where you at? We need a lot. I'm like, God damn, like I didn't think you would miss me for 3 days. Shit, I'm not even around. Like I'm planning on
But
taking
I
a
mean,
week off.
it ain't a lot of live streams right now, and it
Yeah.
not even a whole bunch of content in general, you know,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
and it's a job to try to keep up with it.
It's definitely a
It ain't
job, man.
it ain't easy.
It's definitely a job, but hopefully some more people will come into the space so old Marky Mark could take a break and maybe one day just fade away. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna fade away when shit is doing bad. Hopefully, what's this 2024? Hopefully 2025. Oh man, I don't know. A lot of work got to be done. Maybe 2025, second half of 2025, 2026. I think we may get back into a bustling economy for a couple of years before things go back haywire. So I'll be around
Hmm.
for a couple more years, but I'm gonna wrap it
That's what
up,
I was,
man. Go
that's what I
ahead, go
was
ahead.
thinking. What is, with you building your subscriber base? You ain't gonna just, you look like you trying to move into like the podcast type, you know.
See,
Or
here's the
you
thing with that.
building that subscriber base. You got to do something with it. You can't just
Here's
you
the
can't
thing with
just
that.
abandon. You know.
Here's the thing with that. Here's the thing with that. It's a lot of stuff I would want to talk about, but I understand. See, I understand the bigger picture. It's a lot of things that I want to talk about, but I know it's a lot of shit that come with it. And the way I move how I'm supposed to move, but I understand that if I go into certain arenas, my channel could go from 20 some thousand to 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 to 80,000.
Hmm.
I still want to maintain that level of being a normal person. I already
Yep.
got people
See.
coming to me in the
Yep.
gym like, man, Mark, and I only got
See.
22,000. And now that's
Hmm.
weird because I don't know if this is the troll that you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm messing with and shit like that. I understand
Right.
my environment, and I know if I go like an Anton Daniels route, a lead attorney or something like that, and I start speaking on like real life stuff, the channel gonna go, and I want to be able to live, man, and move around. I don't want to have to
Mhm.
hire security. I don't
Cause you
want to
know it's
have
certain
to.
YouTubers that's having to do that. Like
I
I
know
think is it CJ on 32s? He
CJ
now
on
got security.
32, yeah,
Yeah,
because
he
they
he
steady
used to,
trying to get
you
him.
know.
They steady
See,
trying to get him. They steady trying
see.
to get
So
him.
yeah,
I already got checked this week once anyway. My homies told me stop live streaming from the car. You know you're in a Tesla. You know the roof is all glass, so we can see. We know where you at. People from outside Chicago might not, but just bet you drive it, we can see the glass roof and we know the buildings. We know where
but
you
see,
at.
they might know your general area. I haven't really looked at. I've seen some of them, and I wouldn't have necessarily knew exactly where you was at.
Right.
But I know what you're saying. But your homeboys know where you be at. So when
Right.
they see certain shit, they going, oh yeah, we know he right here.
Right.
But I do get it though, cause I've seen you kind of like when you was doing, where you was kind of showing some of the people that's been like let off of the buses and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm like, those are public places where an individual may know, hey,
Right.
he's sitting right here right now. But I would hope that nobody will want to take shit to that level, but you just never know.
But you never
Who
know.
you done really did something that bad to that will
It,
want to just,
it, it ain't even just that. Sometimes you got stalkers. I was watching a live stream this morning, and a live streamer, he got a couple 100,000 subscribers, and it's a chick stalking him. So like he had to call the police and the FBI or something. He put in, the lady came like, why would you call the police? Because he's like, man, every reaction video you got is about me, and they live in the same city. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's like, I'm cool with the box truck content because I'm giving free information. I'm helping people. But once you start talking about things that your views and people
right,
may not side with your views, then
right,
I don't want to have court while I'm at Mariano's.
right,
Mark, yeah, I didn't like what you said the other day about,
right.
so like, man, listen, I'm trying to get my tomatoes and shit. You see what I'm saying? So I already had somebody run into me at Mariano's. I had people that run into me at the gym and a few different places. So I'm
Hmm.
like, man, once you start amplifying that and then you start touching on certain things that people are going to have differences of opinion, box truck talk is safe because we providing free information that people can use. But once
Right.
you start talking about shit that people got differences of opinion about, like if I say, man, I'm voting for Trump, you still gonna have some people that say, well, man, they gonna want to have that conversation. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I don't want to have that conversation.
Right.
So I think it's in my best interest to just, whatever this channel does as far as box truck, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm fine with it. Like I don't have any desire. Like I didn't know I would have this many subscribers. I didn't know that. I didn't
And
think
we
that.
talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like shit,
I
I
didn't
didn't.
think about that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think I was gonna ever have over 100 subs. And it just
Mhm.
grew and grew and grew.
Just grew.
People
So,
pick and choose who they attach to, or who journey they want to follow. So you just never know who will be intrigued,
hmm
about what you do, and that's more what I started to, figure out. But I agree, like even with my channel, it's not as big as yours, but
hmm
as it grows, it's like at what point are you, like you said, not a regular person no more? You
hmm
can't just jump out, and just because I feel like you probably got the same mindset. That when I'm not on YouTube, I'm not thinking about YouTube. I don't walk
exactly.
around and like view myself as a celebrity or
hmm
look at people and be like, I wonder if he know me or I look at everybody as they don't know me
Mm-hmm.
until you say you do. That's just
Mm-hmm.
how I approach it. So if I go in somewhere, I don't think that, hey, this person might have saw me on YouTube. I automatically say they don't know who I am. I just
Right.
got a small little channel. Until somebody be like, hey, and then it's like, damn, okay, I'm bigger than what I think I am. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, yeah, I just look at it as one of the smaller channels. But you now in what upwards of what 21,
22.
22,000. So yeah, you already getting into, and I think that's why some YouTubers fell back. I've heard people talk about that. I think somebody had people waiting around where he lived. He was gonna move back towards like home. He was like, yeah, people, yeah, he was getting crazy. So
Yeah, it could get crazy. Like I knew it was real because I went out to Phoenix last year to visit one of my homies from Chicago that moved out there. The first night I got there, we went to this club. Somebody came up to me in the club and said, "This is what they were exactly. Ain't you that box truck nigga from Chicago?" Just like that. So I'm way in Phoenix. You see what I'm
right,
saying? And this was
yeah,
back in May. So, you know what I'm saying? I probably was at maybe 15,000 subscribers at that point, maybe 14, something like that. So, and that was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? It was weird
hmm
because that was the first person that ever came. I knew it was going to happen eventually, but I figured it would have happened in Chicago. So to
hmm
go way out to Arizona, be in a nightclub in Arizona, and somebody come up to me, it felt kind of weird because that was the first time. Now when it happens, it ain't so bad. And then when I see people, like I see people look, like I'll be at the gym, I'll be on a machine or something, and I just see some random person just staring at me. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And then I gotta
yep.
remember, like, this probably somebody that just seen me on YouTube and he just don't know how to
I go through the
approach me.
same thing,
You see what I'm
same
saying?
thing.
So,
And you will
so
wish somebody just be like, "Hey, what up? Like the channel
yeah.
or your content suck. It's garbage, trash. Like say
Mhm.
something." But you just have a person like just kind of you don't know
Yeah.
what's going on there. So I same way have to tell myself like this person, you are on a social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
So it's public. Anybody could see you that you may not know has seen you.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the interactions may have something to do with your channel. Cause
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you automatically, to me, that ain't the first thing I think of. Oh, they know me from YouTube. So
Mm-hmm. And that ain't the
yeah,
first thing I think of either. So when I start, because I play these scenarios in my head, and I be like, man, do I want to venture off into some other stuff? And then I always lead back to, because what a lot of people don't, I think a lot of people think that when you on YouTube, you making like a gazillion dollars or something like that, and that's so far from the truth. So I'm like, yo, I don't want to, put myself in a situation where I got all these subscribers and it's really not even worth what I
what
gotta
benefit? Right.
like. Now I'm footing money out of my pocket to make sure that I gotta go above and beyond for safety. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I and I,
security and yeah.
and, and I'm not
And you
being
can't. And who
comp.
wanna? You wanna be you. Like you from this. You wanna be free. You wanna move
Yeah.
around at your own. Whatever. So I think even a lot of celebrities don't wanna. But it's crazy because yeah, YouTube can put you in that type of space to where you're not a celebrity. You ain't necessarily making the money that
Mm-hmm.
they're making, but you're a public figure as like a celebrity. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and like you touched on right now, all of us, it's not a huge channel in this box truck space. To
Mm-hmm.
me, because I watch all type of channels, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like you really don't even enter the door until like 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you solidified at a million when you
Mm-hmm.
get that. Those the big players that's making the money, a million plus. But I
Mm-hmm.
think 300,000, like in the red pill, blue, all of them got
Mm-hmm.
300, 400, 500,
Mm-hmm.
600,000.
Mm-hmm.
But we all smaller channels, just kind of trying to grow. But to me, it's not a huge channel in trucking. We do
Mm-hmm.
have channels that's bigger than others. But even some of the guys, like, I don't know if you watch Trucking with Tay.
Yeah, I've seen his
Uh,
stuff before.
yeah, he got like close. I think he close to 100,000. He may have passed it,
Mm-hmm.
but most of us ain't even at his level yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we all still on a smaller scale, but it still kind of puts you in that public eye.
And it's no the money that you would need to make would come from sponsors, and ain't no sponsors in this genre spending no type of money. Like,
Right.
those guys that got million subscribers, even the guys that got 100,000, 200,000 subscribers,
Hmm.
they got sponsorships. They got, small companies paying them to, say something about them or do little 30-second mid rolls and,
But you get
pre-roll
those,
ads and stuff.
right? Cause I get them. I just have
So
never done any.
so
I
I
get
I,
them.
I
I
get
don't.
them, and I turn them away. Like I've tried
Right.
one or two, but like I did the one with Rock Financial, and I told them like, look, I don't agree with certain products that y'all have. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
okay with loans and business line credit, but I'm not a big fan of equipment leasing and stuff like. And I was transparent
Right.
when they came on the show, but there was a few incidents where people signed up for loans, and I told them like, yo, my subscribers believe me. They know I'm gonna keep it 100, so they're gonna come back to me and consult with me before they pull the trigger on anything. And people were coming, Mark, what you think about this? And I was telling them, man, I don't like this deal. But the guys, the salespeople that they were dealing with, they were saying, well, I gotta talk to Mark before I sign up. Well, man, Mark, he's a trucker. He really doesn't understand finance. And see, I didn't like that. I didn't like that because I told you that, listen, my subscribers, they're gonna come to me. And if I'm telling them the deal, I don't like the way it's structured, who are you to tell them that I don't know about finance? I do know about finance when it comes to financing a loan or financing a business line of credit. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was one incident where I found that if that person, I said, if you take this loan, it's not going to help you. It's just going to hurt you more. You trying to source capital because you need working capital. This working capital is not going to get you out of that jam. It's going to hurt you more. You see what I'm saying? And the underwriter or the guy who was trying to sell him the loan or the line of credit was basically telling him that he's the professional in that. You shouldn't go to him for trucking, like he shouldn't come to me for advice on the deal that was in front of him. And I told him, don't take it. It wasn't about the deal. It was about he didn't need a loan. Once I looked at everything that was going on, that deal was going to hurt him more than what the situation that he was already in. See, some people think a loan is going to give you breathing room. A loan sometimes will hurt you worse. You see what I'm saying? And that's basically what I was telling him. So I walked away from them. I get like a lot of, so here's how some companies come to me. Like a lot of the 3PL companies, they don't pay for advertising. What they do is they'll consult with me because instead of them doing a focus group with a bunch of owner operators, they'll do a call with me, right? And they'll get the sentiment from the audience from me. Well, what do people want? What do you think we should do better on the dock? How can we speed up the time from when the contractors get to the facility at load out at 5 a.m. to when they leave? How can we speed up that process? Man, I say, man, you need to hire more dock people. I said, we just had an incident with a young lady in this video who was at the loading thing for 4-5 hours. Yeah, we saw that video. Well, in a situation like that, well, most cases you only got one person bringing people they freight, lining they freight up at each dock door, and he might have 50 doors he got to cover. You need to hire more people. These guys need to get in and out within an hour so they can get to their route. They shouldn't be at the facility. So they'll come to me because they know I know the business, right? Because they watch the channel, and I'm the person that talks to all the other people. So instead of talking to a bunch of other people, they just talk to me. And instead of paying me what I notice a lot of these companies will do now, and I don't know why they do this, they'll just give you a gift card. Well, here's a gift card for with $1,000 on it, a couple $100. You see what I'm saying? I think that's their way of. It's something to do with taxes. I haven't figured it out yet.
And they offer you like free products. Cause I had like somebody wanted me to do like sunglasses, and I'm like, what this got to do with what I'm talking about? But yeah, they wanted me to do like a little uh 30-second something with their sunglasses. I know another guy used to do, one of the dispatchers wanted me to run an ad for their dispatching company. I forget the name of it.
I don't do no
But one of the,
dispatches.
right. Yeah, they
None.
yeah, it was another YouTuber that actually ran their ad a couple times. I forget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah.
small companies, like little all like sunglasses, dispatchers. I just turn them away. I just turn
Right.
them away. For the most part, I turn everybody away because I don't have any sponsorship. Like OTR solutions, like DAT hit me up one time, and I didn't like the deal. Like I'm not doing
Mhm.
no affiliate ads. I'm not finna have no list of links and stuff all in my description because to me
Right.
that's work, and I'm trying to sell people to click these links and buy things so I can make money and a little money. Man, I don't got time for that. So DAT hit
Right.
me up. They was like, every person that signs up through your link for the first year, we'll give you 15%. For the second year, we'll give you 10. For the third, we'll give you 5. And then after the third year, it's off. So if a person comes through me after 3 years, you're giving me a percentage on the tier, a sliding tier that's a declining scale, and then that fourth year I don't make anything going forward. So they
Right.
could be in trucking for 10 years using the DAT, and after the third year, I don't get anything. I didn't like that. So, and that was like a year and a half ago. I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So if a person not gonna come sponsor the channel, meaning like, look, we want to sponsor the channel. We want you doing 3, 4 live streams a week. You doing 2 videos a week. We want to sponsor the channel, meaning every time you do a live stream, this live stream is sponsored by Steak. You know what I'm saying? Or I know Steak is putting a lot of money into content creators, but they're not putting money into content creators. See, we in a space where who's gonna pay us? Penske
Right.
ain't gonna give us no money. Ryder's not gonna give Enterprise Budget. They not gonna give us no money. The insurance companies ain't gonna give us no money. So if you take out the rental truck companies, the insurance companies, right? I've talked to every single final mile 3PL there is. They've all reached out to me, but they don't have a division for ads because they don't really need it. What they understand that we're in the social media market, and they all agree when I talk to them that we do need influencers, you know, to help market us to bring in new owner operators because they're going to them anyway. Yeah, I heard Mark the Mentor talk about Mark. That's why they end up hitting me like, man, we've been getting flooded with a lot of people saying that you told them to apply, which makes them reach out to have these meetings with me, right? But they don't pay for marketing because they don't have a product. You see what I'm saying? So once you take the 3PLs out the way, Amazon ain't gonna pay nobody. They don't need to. You see what I'm saying? They don't need to pay anybody. So
No.
who else is there? Who else is there to sponsor a channel? That's
Yeah,
it.
you would have to go with outside, stuff that's off topic. Like I said,
Exactly.
sunglasses.
And
Yeah,
that's
stuff that
and
ain't no
that's
really.
and then they may do a deal with you, a small deal on a test, and it's not gonna work in your best interest because who's gonna buy sunglasses or whatever else when you're talking about box trucking? Our industry, listen, our industry, and I know we got about 80, 90 people. Well, it's done went down. When you look at other content, and you got people talking about current events, like you said, red pill, blue pill. Let's look at Fresh and Fit before they got demonetized on YouTube.
Mm. They
Talking about
demonetized?
they demonetized for about 4 months now. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. But that
I
was
haven't
on
checked
them.
them
But you talking about every night thousands of dollars in super chats. Kevin Samuels,
yet. Yep.
he do a live stream. He making at least 10, 15,000 a night.
Shit, you want to make some money? Go to talk about hip hop and the old Block
But
Six and
but
them
but
dudes.
but
I see them on every night. They get 4,500 likes. They got they chats look totally different than
they look
ours.
different.
So it's
And,
crazy how you could talk. I've even seen somebody switch from a certain type of content to talking about that and watch their page just skyrocket.
mm-hmm,
If you tomorrow just start talking about hip hop and shit like that, it's crazy how
mm-hmm.
people want to hear about that stuff for some reason.
And they'll super chat, but I can do 3, 4, 5 live streams a week. And I'm not saying to do it. I don't want nobody to do it. I'm just giving
Mm,
this as an example. And this proves that I'm solely here to help people. Because if I was here for the money, I'd have been gone. You see what I'm saying? So you watch a channel that's educated, like Box Truck, with a lot of information that I give out, no super chat. You see what I'm saying? But you go watch them,
right.
they getting thousands of dollars of super chat talking about, red pill, blue pill. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like I
So,
said,
so
and even that, it's the red pill, blue pill. You can apply some of that to life. I don't think all of that's healthy. I'm gonna say
mhm,
that. But
mhm,
some of the stuff that they teach you, you can apply to life as far as just
mhm,
general, the way you look at yourself and stuff like that. But I don't, the hip hop stuff, I watch the guy, I don't know if you watch like King AK and it's a
mhm,
few of them. The dude getting like $40 at a time.
mm,
He even shot at some
mhm,
of the, he counting like, oh, we at, 250, we at 280,
mhm,
310. And just as
mhm,
he's reporting about public information about rappers,
mhm.
that's all it is.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so the box truck space, it's not a space that's going to be lucrative financially as a content creator. So, you just got to know that coming in. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it because you genuinely want to help people. And this is for anybody
Right.
who thinking about doing it. If you ain't trying to genuinely help people and you thinking you're going to come in and make a lot of money, you sadly mistaken. It's going to cost you more money to do it than you're going to make. The bigger you get, the more costly it's going to be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, it is what it is. But I'm okay with it as long as I'm helping people. Then then I'm fine. But now I wouldn't want to transition over. I think I'm comfortable. It's already a lot to deal with living here anyway, right? As
Mhm.
far as being safe and secure. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to put any more added pressure on me. I'll be watching some of them other streams with like Aiden Ross and what's the other Kai Sanad, and
Mhm.
when you get to that level where you got hundreds of thousands of people watching you, I think that would just be weird. Now you got
Yep.
people that's made it their business to personally hack you and find out where you live, and found where your parents live, no matter how much you pay to have things, scrubbed and stuff like
Nah,
that. They
it,
they
it's
doxing
no
you,
such
calling the
thing.
police while
Yeah.
you on stream, talking about you threatening people online. Now you got the police kicking your door in while you on stream. I think they call it doxing or something like that. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't want to. I'm too old. I don't want to go through that.
Yeah, I thought about the same thing. Like, how big do you get before so I don't hopefully my page on my channel, it ain't that big, it grows, but
Mhm.
yeah, I thought about the same thing, like because you just watch certain people, like I said, CJ on 32, uh, at one point he was comfortable just walking around and doing and boom, you know one day you gotta hire 3 4 security guards.
But see, CJ, here's the thing with CJ that other people can't see that me and you can see because we live here. The Okay, so prior to the pandemic, you had your favorite kind. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I froze again. So prior to the pandemic, you had your favorite content creators, but when the pandemic hit, a lot of money from advertisers came into YouTube. If you notice and you pay attention, when 2020 hit, a lot of your favorite content creators, it's like they went from regular person to
They
rich
blew up.
overnight
Yep.
because you had the more views and advertisers were spending more money, right? CJ
Mhm.
bought his first Lamborghini. You went from a Hellcat. I don't even think the orange one was a Hellcat. I just think it was a regular RT or something he had with a lift kit on some 32s to a Huracan. And it's just been up from there. You know what I'm saying? I think the thing with CJ is once he blew up, he was one of the ones that blew up during the pandemic that didn't fall back off. See, a lot of them fell off. A
Mhm.
lot of them fell back off. Like I'm looking at Mr. Organic. He ain't said it, but man, he fell off. He just needed to admit it. And there's nothing wrong with it. He just overspent. He was making all that money. He moved into that big mansion in Malibu, bought all them supercars, and now he living in a 1 bedroom apartment. You see what I'm saying? With no
Right.
cars. You see what I'm saying? But CJ, he kept scaling, and he got over $1 million in jewelry. He got all these cars, so he's put a target on his back. Then his
Mhm.
where he park all his cars, everyone knows where it's at. That's why they keep trying to break into the place. So you got all these cars, you got all this money, but you park $2 million of cars in a barn in Joliet. You see what I'm saying? So all the money that he spent, no mansion. The first thing I would have went and bought was a big mansion with a circle driveway and a 4-5 car garage.
Mhm. Mhm.
But you renting a space next to a car wash, and they keep trying to break into the place because all your cars are there. Everybody knows where that place is at because everybody know where the rim shop is at. It's right around the corner from the rim shop. We've watched you walk from the rim shop to the barn. You see what I'm saying?
See,
Because
so
I
yeah,
watched
some of that
CJ on
is like
32.
yeah, the
So
way you moving. Mhm.
the way you move it, but CJ, he one of them guys. He one of them guys from out there. You see what I'm saying? So in his head, I'm one of them guys, but I think he's getting adjusted finally to the celebrity. You see what I'm saying? Because just because you one of them guys out there, it's only gonna go so long. The people from out there ain't gonna try you, but it's gonna be those weirdos that or some guys from out here that's gonna drive out there. You see what I'm saying? Because it ain't number 30 minutes.
Right.
So that's the thing. You never know who's watching.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
got damn near a million, almost a million people. You walk around with a million. And then all through the summer, he going to all the car meets here. You see,
Mhm.
Stunner Reese left.
Right.
After his last car meet got shot up here, he gone. He in Miami now. He said to hell with it. So I don't know which car meet got shot up. I think it was the one he do out in one of them south suburbs out there. I don't know. I'm not a you probably know better than me, them car meets they be having out there like in Richton Park or wherever that is, Markham,
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah, but one of them car meets he did, the last one got shot up, so I guess he all the money he lost, he threw his hands up in there and said he done with Chicago. So,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. But man, I'm finna get out of here, man. I'm finna end this live, man. It was good
Mhm.
hollering at you. All right, y'all. I
Yeah. Yeah.
appreciate everybody
Appreciate
for
you having
tuning
me.
in. No problem. Make sure y'all follow Midwest Box Trucking. I'm gonna pull your page up before we get out of here. Midwest. Midwest. Why it's not? There it go. Make sure y'all follow Midwest Box Trucking. There you go. There go his channel right here. It's pinned to the subject and it's also in the description. Make sure y'all go ahead and follow him. A lot of good information, guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hold on, Midwest, and we out.